Hey guys, welcome to Late Night Leaflit. Today we have GachaGuns on. GachaGuns is a VTuber streamer that streams a lot of gun-related content, which is pretty crazy. That's actually very unique. So here's GachaGuns. Hey,
Hello.
how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Thank you so much for having me.
Dude, I like your background there.
Yeah, we'll get a better look at that I think in a little bit, but I got some cool stuff to show.
That's pretty interesting. You've got like kind of a. It's usually special when the VTuber does like that kind of double setup where you've got like right there. Like here, we can show it over here. You've got like that kind of double setup. Yeah, most people don't have that. That's like usually special. Oh, I like what you got there. You got the 5.57 up there. All right, let's see. How many of these do you think I can name? You've got P90, 5.7. I can't see. Oh, that's like a oh man, what is it called? TP9? MP9? Yep. TP9?
Got it.
And then 1911 with like a fat suppressor. Holy crap. Does that make it like super front heavy?
Not actually, because it's aluminum, so not as much as you think.
Really? And let's see, that's a X95. Yeah, that one. That one is. Can you fold it out? Scorpion. Scorpion? No.
CZ.
CZ.
But
it's not a Scorpion.
It's not a Scorpion.
What? Okay, what is that one? I don't know that one.
It's a Bren 2.
Damn it! That's the first thing I thought of, but I was like, it's kind of too small.
Right?
Is it really that big?
This is the tiny one.
Oh, yeah. That's why. See, I was thinking it was a Bren, and then I was like, it looks kind of too small though. It looks a little tiny.
Barrel lengths, yeah.
That's why. That threw me off. Deagle with some kind of muzzle device on it. What is that for?
It's a compensator or muzzle brake, I guess you can call it.
It
reduces recoil or felt recoil.
That's crazy.
We can
you got one behind you? Is there one behind you or no?
No. I mean, there's a lot of guns behind me.
Damn it! Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But not like behind my VTuber model. No, that's everything on the table. But
how many did you drop into the ocean? Is what I want to know.
Lots. All of them. Right?
All of them.
Me
too.
They're not actually.
Feels fucking bad, dude. All of us gun people always dropping our shit in the ocean. It feels bad, dude. I know. I don't think I did too bad. I mean, I would have gotten that one, but it kind of threw me off a little bit because it was like really small.
Yeah, it's not a common gun either, actually. So
I actually like the Bren. I don't know why I didn't notice. Oh, you know what? I should have noticed it based on the magazine.
Yeah,
so I should have noticed it because of that. I'm an idiot.
Pretty much all guns that I thought you would like.
Yeah, is that why?
Yeah.
I do like them all, though. I do like them all. Yo, MP7 when though?
Hopefully in the next couple of years, but I'm not gonna hold my breath.
They still working on that?
Yeah, there's a guy that's making a US copy of the MP7, but his initial ones are $30,000. So
$30,000.
Yeah, because they're made from original HK parts kits, like chopped up, decommissioned police MP7s, and those are incredibly expensive to buy the parts. So what I've heard is they're going to take those parts kit guns, sell them, and then use all of the profits to make a US based version of it. So that's going to take some years and time. Same guy also makes copies of the G36 though, so you can buy a US made copy of a HK G36. So if he's able to do that, he can probably do the MP7. It'll just take a while.
Wait, is that already out? Like you can get a G36 like right now?
You can buy it right now.
What the heck? How much does it run for?
They're about $2,800. So not
wait,
cheap.
2,800. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
Considering like a Scar is like 2K.
Yeah, actually, it's cheaper than a Scar. That's what's so messed up about the Scar is it's like obscenely expensive for what it is.
So this is actually a question I've had. Why? What makes a gun expensive? Like, what is it? Is it just an issue of like supply and demand that makes it expensive, or there's specific components or specific features that a gun has that would make it like more expensive?
It's a lot of things combined, but definitely materials, of course, is the first one. Certain guns are made out of expensive to manufacture materials, extruded aluminum, carbon fiber, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get companies that make the guns overseas and have to import them. So originally the SCAR was imported from Belgium. They're actually made in the United States now, but they used to be all imported. And when you import a gun to the United States, there's a ton of hoops you have to jump through to do that legally. And so
Mm-hmm.
basically it involves them building the gun in a certain configuration, shipping it over to the US, taking off a whole bunch of foreign made parts, putting on new made US parts to comply with the import laws, and then selling it. So they tack all of that on to the overall price tag. And then you also get companies like FN and HK that are a little bit full of themselves. And I think they can just charge, whatever and get away with it, because that's what FN does. They've basically just continuously raised the price of the SCAR over the years, and it's actually should be cheaper to make now than it used to be. So it's just FN knowing they have a captive market for the SCAR. People
Mm-hmm.
want it and they're willing to pay it. And yeah, I don't agree with the price tag of it. Otherwise, I'd have one already.
So I mean, it's the main reason like I was kind of looking at the brand actually is because like I was like I want a SCAR, but it's like so expensive. And then somebody was like, well, why don't you like get a brand then? And I was like, and then so I looked
It's
into it.
Yeah, it's the budget SCAR kind of in a lot. I mean, it's a SCAR made in the Czech Republic instead of Belgium, essentially. And it has some features that I think are actually better than the SCAR.
Mm-hmm.
But it is the one I have is actually a very rare variant that they don't import anymore. But the new ones, there's just a few cosmetic changes between
Mm-hmm.
them, and they are available, and they're about $1,800 versus a SCAR is $3,500.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see
I mean,
why.
that's the main reason. Like people were like, I said like, oh, I really want to get a SCAR, but like my mom won't let me buy one. This literally happened. I
Yeah.
was like, at one point, I was like, what if I save my money and then I can buy a SCAR? My mom was like, you're not buying a SCAR.
Well, and it's not just like the SCAR itself too, because like obviously the really cool SCARs, like the short barrel ones, because if you get the regular SCARs, that's this like goofy long barrel that sticks way
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
They
that's
look,
true. Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
So
Yeah.
like you want to get like the Call of Duty SCAR or whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have to buy it. You're gonna have to SBR it, which is register the gun as a what's called a short barrel rifle,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to buy the barrel. That's the short barrel. That just the barrel for the SCAR, the 10-inch barrel,
Mm-hmm.
is $1,000, $1,000+
So,
on a good day.
so
So that's
actually,
on
this
top of the
is
$3,500 that you already spent on the
yeah.
SCAR.
That's actually a really good question. I've actually wondered about that. So what is so SPR is a short barrel. They're like the short versions um of a lot of rifles, right? And they have like even I guess even something like they would classify a Vector as a short barrel rifle as well, right?
Yes, the
Without
Chris
the
Vector
yeah.
is a short barrel rifle. If you put
S-
a stock on it, or it can be a pistol if you
If
don't put a stock,
that's
because
so backwards.
reasons.
I've seen it. I've
Yeah,
seen the pistol version. It just doesn't. Is that the only difference? Is it just doesn't have a stock on it?
it literally just doesn't have a stock on
Oh
it.
my
Yeah,
god. I've seen that.
that's it. The guns are identical otherwise. There's all sorts of weird, really weird holdover laws in the U.S. People think
Hmm.
that the
Hmm.
United States is just this like bastion of gun freedom. You can have whatever you want, and there is a lot of freedom here. You can have a lot of firearms, but there's still a lot of really, really bizarre
Hmm.
things that you have to follow. Like again, the guns function exactly the same between a pistol and a rifle, Chris Vector. But if you want to have the rifle one with the short barrel, you have to do a whole bunch of extra paperwork and pay the government more money, and you have to wait, and it's a whole process.
So that's the thing that kind of confuses me about the whole thing is like it's illegal and you're like okay, but you know what? If you slip us a little bit of money, maybe we'll be okay with it. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's
Like you
basically
what?
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So history, I can explain the history of the NFA.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. So this real quick history lesson here. The NFA, the National Firearms Act, was passed in 1934, and it was a direct, basically backlash to like gang violence in the 1920s and 30s, like mobsters, Chicago, basically illegal alcohol, prohibition era stuff, going on. You think Al Capone, all that, Tommy guns. So it was a direct response to that, where they said, okay, we can't just have, or the government thinks that you shouldn't be allowed to have a machine gun, but we can't just totally make them illegal because there are some cases maybe that you could have one. So what they did was they passed the NFA, and what it does is it requires you to pay a $200 tax stamp to own one of the restricted items, which are machine guns, silencers, short barrel rifles, and short barrel shotguns. And in 1934 dollars, $200 was about, or it's a little under $2,000. So you can imagine if that adjusted with inflation for today, if you wanted a short-barreled rifle, you'd have to pay an extra $2,000 on top of the gun to the government just to be allowed to it. Thankfully, the tax has never increased. It's still $200.
This is the one time that inflation is good.
Yeah, it literally is like the only time.
But the thing that's so okay, here's the thing that I think is so fucked up about this, right? Is and I keep explaining this to people, is that the fact that it's only illegal unless you spend X amount of money for it, right? People that have a shit ton of money, they don't care about $200. It's not going to hurt anybody, right? That's going to affect everyone that doesn't have that much money, right? So it's the same thing. The same thing I have with like a lot of people are like, oh, just get some bodyguards, right? Like, what the fuck? Get some fucking bodyguards. Like, what? I can't afford a bodyguard.
I mean, at the time, it was the government basically gatekeeping firearms from, only the wealthy could afford them. That was kind of the idea, because I said no average person was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna spend $2,000 to the government just to keep this. So most people just gave it up, or never registered them, and there are actually still a bunch of unregistered guns floating around in the U.S. from that era that were never papered. And there is also another kind of interesting tidbit from the 1960s where the U.S. government actually offered an amnesty post World War II, where so what happened was a bunch of soldiers brought back machine guns as war trophies from World War II, Vietnam, whatever, and they realized like, well, there's like thousands of these that literally got brought back. We can't just get rid of them all. What if we offer an amnesty where you don't have to pay the $200 tax stamp, but you do have to do the paperwork, so we register it. It's in the books. And there was a period where you could register any gun in the United States, machine gun, under this amnesty for free. And there's cases of literally like convicts, like people who should not be allowed to own a firearm, stole a gun from a National Guard depot and registered it. And because it was a true amnesty, he got to keep it and was allowed to have that. It's like one of those really weird events in history where, it, like I said, was a true amnesty. Yeah.
So, okay. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. This is it's getting a little bit into territory, but why? So there's a lot of people that talk about like registering, like having to register, like, for example, for the SBR thing, you have to like pay for that, right? What is the deal with people not wanting to register it?
So I think the fear is, and we can look at other countries for this. It's been shown, if you look at the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, very recently now. Basically, they have a gun registry, and all the guns are registered for the most part, and they know who has them and serial numbers. And as long as that's all they're doing, it's not a problem. I don't particularly see that be a problem. But when it does turn into a problem, is suddenly the government's like, oh, hey, that thing that you paid money for and you registered and you followed all the laws, it's now illegal and you don't get to keep it anymore. And we're going to give you what we think is a fair value, maybe, whereas we're going to buy it back. And it's like, well, you can't buy back something that you never purchased originally. But that's how those things have gone, is over the years, they've, other countries have lost their rights. And I think if people still got to keep their guns from those times, it wouldn't have been as much of a backlash. But I think that's the big fear in America is, okay, we register all guns, and at some point, it might not be this year, it might not be next year, it might not be 50 years from now, but somewhere down the road, the government suddenly decides, yeah, you can't have that AR-15 anymore. We're going to take it, and you don't have a say. So I think that's the fear of registration.
I think they usually just go they go pretty flat on that too, right? Where they're like, this specific thing is gonna be this is how much you get back. It's not really like, because as we talked about, there's a huge variance in the cost of how much one costs, right? Like for a firearm.
Oh,
So
massive. Yeah.
yeah,
A guns can be $100 or $100,000. It just depends on the firearm.
yeah. So let's see. I have some a couple other questions. So like let's take a little side route here. So how did you get, I mean, we know a little bit, but can you like let everyone know, like how did you get into streaming? Like, was it something you actually did uh before the whole
For
thing, right?
VTubing?
Yeah, before
Um,
VTubing, yeah.
yeah, so I was a gun content streamer for, I don't know, I think it was about 6 months.
Hmm.
Um, I always, it took me a long time to like warm up to the idea of streaming because I've watched, YouTube gun content and I'd watched streams for a while and I was like, I don't see anyone or very few people doing like a live stream and talking about guns. Like, um, you have all the YouTube content, but you can't really. I feel like the YouTube experience, the video experience, is not the same as a live chat where you can ask questions, you can
Hmm.
interact. And I was like, I want that. I want to be able to talk to a streamer who likes what I like,
Hmm.
guns in this case, and is knowledgeable about them, and we can have a good discussion about it, a back and forth. And I just feel like that was totally lost in a YouTube sense. So I started a stream on Twitch, streamed for about 6 months. Didn't get a lot of traction, mainly because I was a no face cam stream. I'm not
Hmm.
don't really like being on camera that much.
For obvious
Um,
reasons.
yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons that I don't particularly want to be on camera. And I was like, I had never even thought about being a VTuber. And I watched your stream because I'm a big fan.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
yeah. You know what's ironic though is I didn't actually follow your stream because you like guns.
Oh, really?
No, I
What
found
was
out
it?
later.
What happened?
I joined in a raid from I don't remember who, but you were shrimping really hard for Yuri, and I was like, yes.
Oh my god. You know what's crazy though is I've seen more like lately that there's this kind of intersection between like kind of like anime fans and like kind of gun otaku. Like there's a whole like you've got a lot of games coming out, kind of like Blue Archive, for example, that are kind of like showcasing all these kind of guns, and a lot of people drawing like kind of cute like anime waifus in like full on like tactical, not like fake tactical, but full on tactical outfits.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
really
it's
cool.
coming. There's a lot of it now. Started following a bunch of artists on Twitter. And I'm just like, wow, holy cow! I didn't realize there was this much of it. And so I kind of, like I said, I was watching your stream. I participated in Waifu Wars, which is super cool. And
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Super stressful though, by the way.
Was
That
it?
was like one of yeah, like when the final votes are coming down and stuff. Like I had like my hands were like shaking. I was
How
like,
close was that?
it
That
was
was.
I won by 2 votes.
Oh my god.
In that it was like literally it was a draw too. The first vote on Waifu Wars was
That
a
must have been
draw.
really stressful. That
Yeah, and so like it got redrawn, and then like I won by 2 votes, and I was just like, oh, holy crap! I can't believe I actually won Waifu Wars. And then
was your
Hana
first
here,
time on too.
yeah, it was the first. I mean, I had watched a lot. I had watched
Uh huh.
probably 7 or 8 Waifu Wars before that, but
Also, you
first
knew
time
you had the
I
strats.
knew I had strategies. Yes, I was frantically thinking. And in fact, I kind of had this idea that I might enter, and I thought of a name ahead of time, and I feel like that's a pro strategy.
Hmm.
So Hana Katona here, her initials are HK, which I did that on purpose.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and
That-
her height's 5'7".
oh my god.
That's also
I didn't even think about that.
the gun memes.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, and now, like you're like the Hanakatona VTuber.
Yeah. So yeah, so obviously I think everybody here knows that the winners of Waifu Wars get a model made by the very cool Oliver. I see Oliver in chat there.
What's up, Ollie?
Yeah, which did a fantastic job making Hana here. And I was like, after I got it, I was like, that's so cool. But what do I do with it? And I was streaming at the time, and I had like never put two and two together. Be like, wait, I can be a VTuber that talks about guns, and like Hana's model was already like tactical, with the plate carrier and everything. I was like,
Hmm.
this makes sense. So I downloaded the software and I set it up, and it was like one of those like epiphany moments when I turned it on. I was like, wait, this actually works. And so started streaming as the tactical VTuber, and it's been great since.
That's pretty cool. Are there any other VTubers that I know that, I mean, there's got to be some that do talk about guns, but like you're the only one I've seen that actually shows stuff on stream.
I mean, I've seen like Koopa show her revolver
Oh,
and
that's
some
right,
other
Koopa does, yeah.
like there's a few other streamers that will, I think, have occasionally shown a gun, but that's not really the focus of their stream.
Mm-hmm.
Where mine is like that's what we do. We talk about guns pretty much exclusively. I always joke like, "Oh, let's play a game this week," and then like I start my stream and it'll be like 3 hours later and we're still chatting about guns. I'm like, I'm not gonna get around to playing a game. I never actually play games on my stream. We always just end up chatting about guns for forever.
I mean, I think that's why people come, right? They come because of that experience, right? Because if they want to watch someone play, I don't know, Tarkov or Valorant or whatever, gun related game, there's plenty of people that could do that. But I think you're positioned uniquely, in a sense that I think one of the only people I know that could do this stream, which I think is a very big strength for you. Because who has the collection to even do this? You know what I mean?
True. That is a huge part of it too. You don't. I mean, a gun collection, like you don't build that overnight. You don't even build it over like 5 years. It takes a very long time. I mean, some of the paperwork for stuff takes over a year. I've waited over. I have a pending Form 4 right now for a Keltec KSG that's literally been a year.
What
for it?
Wait, for a KSG? Like just a regular?
Yeah, short barrel KSG.
I see. Is it the one with the little pipe sticking out of it? You know what I'm talking about?
So that's the one that's not. It's like that's the one you can buy that is not restricted. And then so what you do is you do your paperwork, and then when you get it back, you can cut the little extended barrel piece off. That's why it's got that weird barrel part that sticks out.
Oh, okay. So that's not intended. That was like actually like it's
like
kind of
a workaround. So you can buy the gun and have it while you're waiting for your paperwork to clear. Like, see, I bought one that's already short barreled, so I don't get to take it home. It has to stay at the gun dealer till they approve the paperwork, and then I can go pick it up. And like I said, it's been a year. Filed it last June.
Holy crap!
Still waiting. So it takes a very long time to build a gun collection, like I have. And I am financially irresponsible when it comes to firearms.
I remember that one time you messaged me and you were like, I did something very bad. And you were like, I spent this much on a gun.
Yeah, that was the most recent one. And I haven't shown that chat yet, by the way. That's the gun that's
Is that like a secret?
It's kind of, well, yeah, don't say what it is.
I won't.
We can talk about it, but not like what actually it is.
That's crazy.
So because that gun has 2 tax stamps associated with it.
Holy crap.
Again, I'm waiting. So until I get those back, I don't really want to show it on stream because it's not as cool.
That's true. You gotta show it like in its perfect form. You know what I mean? You can't like.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it'll be ready. So I'll have my 1-year VTuber anniversary in end of July.
It's been a year.
Yeah, it's been a year, right?
That's great.
So,
wait, so the Hana Katona Wife Wars was over a year ago, almost.
Yeah,
almost
it was
a year.
June. I think
That's
it was
crazy.
June of June or May. I don't remember of last year.
It was Battle Royale, right? That was the thing. Battle Royale.
Battle Royale.
So it's like you came. Oh, sorry, going back to that a little bit. So you came up with a waifu, and then you won, and you got the model, and by the way, that was kind of the thing, right? For waifu wars, we're like, you can use it if you want, like we don't really care, right? So it was like kind of. We also have the music too. Do you use the music at all?
I don't. It's kind of short. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the one thing is like it's a fairly short segment, so I haven't found a good way to like.
Was that by Nubia?
It was.
Oh, I can. You know what? Maybe we should ask him to make it like a loop and make it long.
We could.
That'd be kind of cool. I think I might ask him. You know, that's kind of so cool though.
Yeah.
Are you planning on getting sort of 2D, or are you happy with the 3D look?
I would like to get some upgrades. I need to talk to Oliver actually about
Hi, Ollie. Ollie's right there.
Hi, Ollie.
Get him.
But I mean, I would eventually like to have a 2D model as well. I think that's are, it's good to have both really for a lot of different
I
stuff.
agree.
So,
Hmm.
but
Don't you have a bunch
I
of
don't.
outfits already too? You got like a
I've
couple
only got
outfits.
two. I've got this one and then like a sweater model,
Hmm.
which was part of the original
Hmm.
package. But
So what kind of
I
stuff
have
would
a
you
bunch of
want on
other
it?
stuff.
What would you want?
Um, so maybe some more tactical gear, like like some ear pro. I think is a good one.
Oh,
You see a
that's
lot of
nice.
tactical VTubers wearing like contacts and stuff.
Hmm. That's like the
I
most
think if a
common one. That's the famous one that everyone wants.
Yeah, it's very iconic. So I think like a beret could look really cool too. I know
Oh, that'd be really cute.
Oliver. I was like thinking hats, and I know Oliver's disdain for hat modeling, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't ask for a beret.
Let's see. Man, so yeah, you've hit almost a year. That's so crazy, dude. That's wild. But I really think like if you keep doing it, keep giving people like that experience, it's again, it's so unique, such a unique position to be in that anyone that wanted to compete with you would have a very hard time. Right? It's got this intersection of like you've got the bubble of like guns and gun content creators, and you have like the bubble of like anime, like VTuber, like waifu lovers, and like right in the middle is like where you are, and like it's not the barrier of entry is so high. Like what are you gonna do? You're gonna just like go on stream like and talk about show some pictures of guns and talk about it. I
Hmm.
mean, it's a lot
Which
different
is
to
yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. But yeah, having it is something that you can actually demonstrate and take apart and show on stream. I think does make it special.
Anything you want to show right now? Like let's switch over here. What do you got over there?
Sure. I don't know. Let's see. I think everybody likes again the Bren too because
I
it's
want
it's
that.
essentially a Scar, made in the Czech Republic. This is one of my favorite rifles.
You
The
recommend it a
action
lot?
on these, yeah, it's so smooth.
Oh man, that looks so good.
It's like it glides. It's like on ball bearings kind of thing. So, um, pretty cool. You can have red dot, setups of course too. I'll mess
See,
with my model
those
so you
are
can
all
see the
stuff
dot.
that I want. Like I want the Tabor and the P90. I've always wanted the P90, but they got the freaking tube sticking out, the PS90, like the freaking whack looking one.
Yeah. So again, that's the PS90, which is the semi-auto version of the P90. People say like, oh, P90. Well, it's not technically P90 because it's semi-auto. The PS is the semi-auto one, but
Mhm.
they normally come with this really stupid looking long
Yeah,
barrel. It's
it's
so
just a
bad.
tube. It looks like a
Yeah.
tube hanging off the front. I actually have like an airsoft one, and it is literally a tube, like just sticking out of the front, and it looks like intentionally bad almost, right?
Yeah, it's comically bad. So it kind of ruins the whole like handling of this gun because like that's the whole thing about the P90 is it's tiny and it's super handy.
Uh-huh.
But when you have this giant long barrel sticking out, it looks bad and it handles bad. But the
Hmm.
P90 is honestly a fascinating gun. I wish I could shoot it more, but the ammo
Oh my
is
god!
so expensive,
Every time you shoot, you're like, "That's $1. That's a
Yep,
dollar. That's a dollar."
literally. I think it's 80 cents a round right now is kind of the
I
average
got
price
I
if you
got
can
super
find it.
lucky before the big ammo shortage. I I knew that it was coming, so I knew like that whole thing was coming, and I knew that the a bunch of them like there was a bunch of laws going into effect for like mail,
Mhm.
making it harder to get stuff from the mail. So right before that happened, I mail ordered a fuck ton of it. Like I think where did I buy it from? Might have been Palmetto.
I got ammo from Palmetto too back in the day. They had it was $15 a box of 50
Yeah,
at one
that's
point.
was it the American Eagle or the Blue Tip?
Yeah, American
Yeah,
Eagle.
that's the one I bought. I bought like a fuck ton of American Eagle, and I
Hmm.
bought like a small box of not like a single box, but like a small like wrap of the blue tip. So I have like the blue tip
Hmm.
ones, and then I have the I think the blue tip ones look cooler, but like
They
they're
look
more
cooler.
expensive.
Yeah, and they honestly don't really perform that much better.
Hmm.
People get really confused, I think, about P90, PS90, 5.7 ammo too. Like which ones are which, because there's this whole thing like, oh, it's super high velocity, and it is high velocity, but like the armor penetrating rounds, the AP rounds that
Those are the
the
green ones.
gun was. They're a black tip
Oh,
usually.
black. I see.
Yeah, and that's what the gun was designed for, and you can't buy those. They're not available on the civilian market. Well, there's a few of them that have somehow worked their way out there.
Uh-huh,
You
uh-huh.
can find them, but they're extremely expensive. Then FN won't sell that ammo to the civilian
Mm-hmm.
market. And actually, you can't buy AP ammo in the U.S. That's like a thing.
Wasn't wasn't the P90 and the 57? I mean, clearly they were. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. They were kind of developed to be like hand in hand, like together, and that
Yeah, I
the
mean, go ahead. Go ahead.
and that the was it, is it true that the P90 was kind of developed as like a it wasn't really for war. It was like for like dealing with like criminal organizations and shit like that, like terrorists
It's
and
like a
stuff.
it's no, it's really well, that's kind of what's been used for, but it's really a backup gun. So the original design idea with the P90 was supposedly late 1980s, still Soviet times, and there's a
Cold
real
War,
threat
so
of it.
that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Cold War threat of invasion,
Mm-hmm.
and the USSR at the time was using soft body armor that pistol rounds would not penetrate.
Mm-hmm.
So the NATO was like, okay, we need a gun that we can give, like kind of rear echelon troops, your truck drivers, your mechanics, your kind of not frontline troops, something that was very capable of
Mm-hmm.
defeating that armor, but not bulky and heavy and hard to carry around.
Uh-huh.
And that was the original idea
I
from the
see.
P90.
So it's kind of for the support
Yeah,
staff,
it's a support
basically.
gun.
Mm-hmm.
What the reality was nobody adopted it for that reason besides Belgium because they make it there.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, no. And then it kind of found a home in like law enforcement, like SWAT and kind of special groups or
Mm-hmm.
other special forces units, because they like, again, the capacity. That's the crazy thing about the
50, right?
P90. Yeah, 50 round
Mm-hmm.
magazine with this kind of whole rotating mechanism at the top. It's very, very fascinating. It's an extremely high rate of fire on full auto. Again, this is not full auto, sadly, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they have very low recoil.
Is that the integrated RD on it?
Yeah, so there's also
I
the
hate that.
people. So and let me try and explain a little bit here because there's two different versions of these.
Mm-hmm,
And I
mm-hmm.
think a lot of people are only familiar with the one. So
Yeah.
the integrated optic on the P90, the original ones have kind of a slant angle here. They're more of a trapezoid shape where this is kind
Uh-huh.
of rectangular. And
Mm-hmm.
those first generation ones have a white reticle. So when
Oh,
you look
okay.
through it, it's a crosshair, but instead of the crosshairs are normally black,
Yeah.
it was white. And like you can't see it. Like
Yeah.
who thought a white reticle was a good idea?
Yeah,
It
that's
was like the
pretty
dumbest
terrible.
idea ever. So those first ones got that super bad
Are
reputation
those
for
rare?
that.
Are those super rare?
They're kind of rare. Actually, this is probably the most desirable version because
Mm-hmm.
this is the Gen 2 site. So
Uh-huh.
what they did was they changed it to black. I'll see if I can get this to show in the camera. Probably not.
A little bit
It's
hard
gonna be
on
really
that.
hard.
Yeah. Oh, there. You
Oh,
can see a little bit. You can see a little bit. There it is.
you
There
kind
it
of see it
is.
there.
Yeah.
It's like a little black kind of T-post,
Uh-huh.
with it's got tritium in it, so it has little red bars, and if in really low light, the T shape glows like a red color.
Oh, okay.
So that's the Gen 2. I actually like this site quite a bit.
Really?
It's pretty good. Is it as good as a modern red dot? I don't know, but you don't have batteries. There's nothing to change. It just works. So that's kind of cool. And then the later generation P90s have just a pick rail on top. Well, there's ones that have integrated pick rails, and there's ones that have a removable Picatinny rail, so you can mount red dots or whatever. But the P90 is such a fascinating gun because just how fast it comes apart.
Oh,
is
I've never
also,
seen this
I feel
ever.
like-
Oh, wow. I think you hit your mic.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Probably did.
no worries.
But that's it. That's fully disassembled, whole gun apart.
It's so light though, right? Isn't it?
Oh yeah, weighs
Yeah,
like
it's
nothing.
so light. You know one thing I do like about it though. I don't know how people feel about this, but I like how it feels. Like when you hold it, when you're actually holding it in like a ready position. It's nice. I like it. I think you muted again. Oh wait, no, you didn't.
So super fast to disassemble and put back together. which it's a very modular gun. I feel it's the easiest gun to take apart. Like honestly,
Hmm.
I can't think of a rifle design that comes apart faster and is like simpler than the P90, which is it's copied from the Steyr AUG, by the way.
Uh-huh,
A
uh-huh.
lot of the design elements were the trigger assembly, how it's got the weird
Kind of does
kind
look
of
like it, yeah.
two-state trigger.
Oh my God, I saw
Yeah,
an AUG at the store about a year and a half ago, and it was terrible.
California
It was
compliant.
terrible. It had the little sheet of plastic or little like what was it, Kydex sheet in there on the side
Yeah,
that's
the
like blocking
denial.
the
It's like the
denial,
denial
the
device
cock
they call
block.
it. So like imagine if you wrap a piece of plastic around the pistol grip so you can't grab it. Like that's
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
that's
point.
kind of what
Like
they
they
did in a lot
fill
of
in this
places.
section so like you
Yeah.
can't wrap your hand around and actually get a good grip on the gun.
So
Like
is there any point to that you can think of? Like, because I don't understand. I feel like it makes it less safe.
it actually does, I think, because it's harder to hold the gun. You're like more likely to drop it by accident because you
Yeah,
can't get a good grip on the dang thing. It's California asserting their dominance on the
it's weird. It like blocks
civilian
off the
populace.
whole thing. It's like yeah, it's a plastic sheet again that goes on the back, so you can't grab it. So what happens is you have this kind of like weird like side grip where you're grabbing the side of it. You know what I mean? It's like it kind of. Actually, you probably don't even know what it's like.
I've never handled one. I've only
Yeah,
seen cursed photos of them because
it's
I'm
like
like, wow, that looks awful.
it's like basically you're so you can only hold it from one side, right? So like you know
Hmm.
how a lot of firearms are made to be like sort of ambidextrous because like you're expected to be able to like switch shoulders.
So you
You
have to kind of like
you
put your
can't.
thumb over.
Yeah, it's like that
Like,
basically, right? So you can't even grab it from like the other side, right? The other side is just not possible to actually shoot from the other side, so you can only shoot one sided, and it's like yeah, you can't. Your fingers cannot go around it, and your thumb.
can't loop
You can't
around.
loop
So you
around,
have
so
to
you're just
keep all the fingers on one
on
side of the
side. So you're
gun,
just
which is weird.
kind of gripping it in your palm. It's like so weird. Yeah,
It looks so bad.
yeah. You want to know how people got around that? I think I've talked about this before, but basically what they have is a device that is a button. It's not the bullet button. A lot of people are talking about bullet buttons. It's not that. So it's a button that you press it and it cracks the gun open, like the top. It separates the lower and the upper on like an AR by like a little smidgen, like like 1-2 millimeters, like little crack, right? Because when those two are separated by like that small amount of space, it becomes no longer a gun.
Yeah.
Right?
All these like again, it's like these weird semantics of
Yeah,
the
it's
law.
so
Like
weird.
it's so stupid.
So
Because it's like whatever they try and ban, people will find a creative way around
yeah,
it. Why it's like
so basically
silly.
an upper and a lower is not considered a gun if they're not connected. So what you do is you press a button that cracks it open slightly, and then you can reload the gun because you can only have a fixed magazine, right? Is the law is you can only have a fixed magazine. You can't like have one that detaches. So this is like one that detaches like that, right? So basically, it cannot detach from the gun. So since it cannot detach from the gun, you make it not a gun temporarily so that you can detach it and then you can reload and then you tap the top to like smack the two back together and now it's a gun again, right? So it's like weird. It's like really really weird, but like that's kind of the stuff people had to do,
Yeah.
for that. Let's see what else. How do you feel about the 5.7? I think it's kind of bulky.
It's a very large gun. Again, people, if you've never handled one, it's
It's
kind of hard to
massive.
tell. But like,
Yeah.
it's like, and the Desert Eagle is like absolutely enormous. But like, this is a pretty good sized handgun, as well. Like,
I feel like the grip is even bigger
it's the
on the
same size as a
5.7.
full size 1911.
Is it like the
And
actual grip on it is bigger?
the grip is actually probably a little bit wider. This
Yeah,
dimension,
that's what
because
it
you have to
feels
fit
like.
those really long 5.7 rounds. So I have tiny hands, so I don't get a very good grip on it. But it's a very light gun, and
Uh-huh.
it's a very light recoiling gun.
Yes,
So
that's
that's
what I
kind
like
of
about it.
the unusual part about it too, is it has very little recoil. It's very loud. Kind of got like a bark to it almost when you shoot it.
It feels snappy,
Because
is how I describe it. It's like snap. It's like pop,
yeah,
pop,
it's
pop.
snappy, but it's like
Yeah.
a very quick
Mm-hmm.
recoil impulse. Like where heavier grain bullets, you get kind of more of like a rolling motion to the gun recoil. The 5.7 just kind of like snaps back and forth like real fast.
Mm-hmm.
it's a unique feel for
I
sure.
should have got that two-tone one. It looks so much better. I don't know why
and
I didn't.
they come apart super fast too, just like the P90 as well. So like FN did a good job with the engineering on these guns.
I don't know why, but the FN guns, the colors are so nice on them. I don't know what it is about FN specifically.
Yeah, and so both of these are discontinued too. This is the OD green color 5.7
Oh.
and P90 or PS90, I mean. So yeah, they don't make they make the tan FDE colored one still, but they don't do this this kind of really cool. It's a olive drab.
Is that a Gen 1 or?
It's Gen 2. Technically, they're on like Gen 3 now, but I think they call them Gen 2 because there's 5.7s are kind of weird. But the newest ones, you can tell they have little cocking serrations at the front here. And this one,
mine has
like I
that.
said, it's smooth. So this is an older one. This is probably like 2010 manufacturer or somewhere around there.
It is super nice. I like that one.
Oh, the safety we should talk about because you were talking.
Yeah,
on the
we were
last stream.
talking about that.
The
Yeah.
safety. Look at the safety on this thing. So it's that
It's
little
like
lever.
yeah. It's
It
so
pops
far
up.
out. You know what I mean? Like
you have to flick it up with your index finger. It's just it's not great.
hold on, I'm trying to think. Usually it's your thumb, right?
Yeah, normally safeties are like thumb arrangements or some type of built-in trigger safety. Almost no handgun safeties are like the index finger. That's very unorthodox. To
Also,
do
my
that.
hand is kind of small, so it's like kind of like
my
getting there is
finger
kind of
just
rough.
barely reaches it. Like
Yeah.
if I was any shorter, I wouldn't be able to even get the safety on and off.
Yeah, 5.7's very, very, very nice. It looks so clean, you know? Oh my god, that's a fat suppressor.
So yeah, 1911s have the thumb safety back here. So
I find them to be heavy. Is that not real? I think 1911s are very heavy.
Oh yeah, they're an all steel gun. Generally speaking, I mean you can get aluminum frame ones too that are lighter, and they even make polymer frame 1911s as well. They're a little bit weird though. But standard 1911, it's heavy. It's a big, chunky, heavy gun, all metal. So yeah, the handling is not great, and that's why I always kind of scratch my head when I see people who like carrying 1911s. So I'm like, that thing's so heavy. Even aluminum ones are still heavy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of friends that say that too. Like, why not just use 1911s? Like, you know, but it's like it's so heavy. Yeah, they're always so heavy. Like every time I've handled one, they're just
yeah, it's like 2 pounds of metal.
But they feel sturdy though. They do feel sturdy, but they're very heavy though.
And they shoot incredibly well too. Like that's the nice thing about 1911s is they have the grip angle that everybody loves. Everyone dislikes the Glocks.
I do not like the Glock grip angle. It is like something about it. Like, why did they make it like that? Like, is there,
it was just the design. That's how Gaston Glock decided was the optimal angle when he
feels weird,
made it. But it's kind of those things. Once you get used to it, I think it's not so bad. But if you're used to shooting this grip angle and then you go to a Glock, what happens is it kind of shifts how you hold it in your hand, and a lot of people they'll either aim low or high with the sights because they're not adjusting their hand position for the different grip angle.
Yeah.
So when you grab a Glock, you kind of have to angle it down, I think, a little bit more, if I remember right, than, let's say, like a 1911. That's the great thing. You pick up a 1911, you look down the sights, and it's basically they point very naturally. It's easy to hit targets with them.
Yeah, when I was looking for an EDC, everyone was like, "Yo, just get a Glock, just get a Glock." And like I remember like my my instructor let me one. Well, let me one like on the range, not like, let me one. But he let me one on the range like to try it out. And I just didn't like it. There's something about it that just bothered me compared to like literally everything else.
Yeah, Glock angles it's a different profile for the pistol grip, like the angle of the grip. Kind of hard to show.
Yeah, there you can kind of see it like when you kind of tilted it. Yeah. It's like kind of off a little bit.
It's a different feel. I've shot a lot of Glocks over the years, so I've gotten kind of used to them. But if you're not used to it, I think that is. And some people just don't like it. But there's so many options. That's the great thing about handguns in the U.S. right now. It's like, if you don't like a Glock, don't buy one. There's like 100 other options.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, so actually, this is a really good segue into something. So, I wanted to talk about a lot of the myths that people have around firearms, and one of them I can see right there. You've got the quote unquote silencer on there, right?
yeah.
A lot of people call it a silencer. Is it silent?
No, it is absolutely not silent.
Mm-hmm.
It is quieter than a regular gunshot, but it is not silent by any means.
Isn't
So
isn't the
go ahead.
reason that a lot of the sound is from the breaking of the sound barrier? Is that true?
That's some of it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of things going on when you fire a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the propellant burning inside of the cartridge. You've got the bullet exiting the barrel. Potentially breaking the sound barrier if it's going fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the cycling action noise of a semi-automatic firearm. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't think about that, but in 1911 or something like that, it makes noise, or an AR-15 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That motion is actually surprisingly loud when you're firing the gun too. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have hearing protection on. So that's kind of the thing. It is a very big misconception that silencers are silent. They really are not. And in fact, almost all suppressors, silencers, that name is fairly interchangeable, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You should wear hearing protection with still. Like, you should still have earplugs in,
Mm-hmm.
earmuffs on, something, because although it's quieter, shooting a lot with a suppressor can still
Uh-huh.
damage your hearing. So that's kind of a misconception that here suppressors are hearing safe. They might be for like one shot, but people don't think about is the OSHA rating for an impact noise is like an impact, and then you have to wait like 15 minutes for your ears to readjust for it to be safe for another loud impact noise. If it's
Oh.
continuous, it actually builds up and it damages your hearing. So repetitive gunshots, even out of a suppressed gun, if it's right at that threshold, which most suppressed guns are still quite loud, then you're still going to damage your hearing over time. The only thing that's, I would say, truly like the maybe feels like it's out of the movies or quiet is suppressed 22 long rifle, which is the really small
Yeah.
rimfire cartridges. That actually is quiet enough that you can shoot without hearing protection, and it's super fun. And it is quiet. It's still, I mean, you'd still hear it. Like, it still sounds like,
Mm-hmm.
if you ever fired like a pellet gun or something like that, it sounds
Yeah.
about like that loud. Like, it's still a noise.
Mm-hmm.
It's not silent. Like that, there's that scene in John Wick that, like,
I was
the
literally
second
gonna ask you
one.
about that. I was like
Yeah,
waiting
that's
for.
such bullshit. Oh my god, like I love the John Wick movies, but that scene is absolute garbage. Like, where they're walking through the subway and they're
Yeah.
like shooting each
Like
other.
nobody's
No
noticing
way.
it.
Yeah, nobody's noticing anything. That's total BS. Total BS. Would
Mm-hmm.
not happen at all like that. People would instantly hear it and be like, "Oh my god." Oh,
So do you know how it works? Because you hear, so there is a big thing with using suppressors with subsonic ammunition, right? How
yes.
much of a factor is the breaking of the sound barrier? It makes that the sonic boom, right? Makes a
hmm
loud crack noise. Is that like a big factor in it?
It's a huge factor, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, subsonic rounds will get you, like, if you're not shooting subsonic ammo out of a suppressed gun,
Uh
it's
huh.
going to be loud. It's going to be loud no matter what. Even 22 long rifle, with a suppressor
You
and it's
can't do
not
anything about it.
subsonic,
It's
it's still
literally,
loud.
it's just
Ah,
the physical breaking of the
It's
sound barrier makes that
the
noise.
Yep, the bullet goes
Mm-hmm.
faster than the speed of sound, and it cracks, just like when a plane goes faster than the speed of sound and makes that big boom noise. Bullets do the same thing on a much smaller scale,
Mm-hmm.
and the suppressor can't capture that because it happens as the bullet's flying down range.
Mm-hmm.
So there's literally nothing you can do to mute that sound or make it quieter. And that's where subsonic ammunition comes in, and it's bullets that are downloaded have less powder, or cartridges that have less powder, so they don't break the speed of sound when you fire them. And then if you combine that with a suppressor, you get kind of the quietest overall package. But I
Mm-hmm.
was saying, even doing that, like a 45 ACP in 1911, suppressed, still pretty loud. I would equate it to about the sound of like a nail gun going off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, you can do one or two, but like, you're gonna be shooting mags of that. You'll want ear pro still.
Yeah, even
Nine
like a pellet
millimeter
gun
is
still makes
pretty
that
good.
noise, right? It still goes
Yep.
like you still have that the loud "pah," right when you shoot it.
Yep.
Even and that's
Hmm.
just air. That's not even like an explosion. That's just literal like compressed air shooting it.
So the quietest guns are fixed action guns. So they have nothing to cycle, nothing moves. You have to manually cycle them. Things like the
Uh-huh.
Well Rod, which is the World War II sneaky OSS gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the quietest firearm you can get. That's a center fire, that concept. But it still makes noise. Still makes noise too. But it is quiet because there's no moving parts.
All right. What about the okay, so another question I hear a lot is could you just walk into a store and just buy a gun? Because you hear that a lot, right? Is that accurate at all, or?
Depending on your state, yes. There are a lot of states in the US that you can just literally walk into a gun store and buy it. Now, you have to have a valid driver's license or a government issued ID. You
Mm-hmm.
have to have a clean record. You can't have any things. They will do a background check on you.
Mm-hmm.
So
So they
you need
do
to
a
be able to
background
pass
check
them.
on
Yep.
everyone that buys. Okay.
Everyone who buys a gun from an actual firearms retailer,
Mm-hmm.
what's called an FFL, a federal firearms license holder, means they have a license that says they can sell guns.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who does that in the United States who buys a gun from them has to do what's called a 4473. It's a piece of paper you fill out with all the information on it. They call in or electronically submit your information to the FBI. It's called the NICS system, NICS,
Mm-hmm.
and they do a background check. There
So
are
what's
ways
the
you can. No, go ahead.
so just to make it a little bit easier, what's the process? So say, let's just say me, Leaflit, would like to get into this. How would I go about it? Like, on a federal level, it's clearly like there are local and state stuff that's gonna be very hard to account for everyone's situation. But let's just say like let's just say in general, like if you were to go to a place that had relatively lax laws and you were like, I just want to go in and get one today. What would
Like you're going to
yeah.
rural America, somewhere that's like pretty standard, no extra laws on top of whatever the
Yeah,
federal
so this is like
regulations are.
literal easiest scenario basically.
So you go into the gun
Mm-hmm.
store,
Uh-huh.
you find the gun you want, you check it out, maybe you handle it, talk to the person, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I want to buy this. You give them your ID. They are going to give you the 4473 paper. It
Mm-hmm.
used to be a sheet of paper, and now it's electronic. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
places do it electronically, so you might fill it out on like a tablet, but it's going to ask, your place of birth, your current physical address, your height, weight, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a series of questions. And the first one is, are you the actual buyer of the firearm? Which is important. You can't buy a gun for somebody else.
Yeah.
People don't realize this, I think, a lot of times too. It's what's called a straw purchase. So that's where if you try and buy a gun for somebody else knowingly, that's illegal. You can go to prison for a long time for it. So don't do that. So the first question is, are you buying the gun for you? And you have to answer yes, or they will deny your paperwork. That's an instant. If you don't check yes on that, you're done. You don't get the gun. No sale. Then the rest of the questions are, there's a whole bunch of, are you under indictment in court? Are you, like a restraining order? Like there's a whole bunch of things. Like, are you a illegal drug user?
Have you done anything violent in the last
have
like
any violent crime?
yeah.
So there's like 10 or so questions like this. And of course, people could lie on them. That's the thing. It's a voluntary question, but you are required to answer them truthfully. And
Yo,
then at the end of it, you
real
sign.
quick, is this true? I remember vaguely. Okay, I don't know if this is. I don't know if I'm just hallucinating, but I remember vaguely that the last time I had to do one of those, there was a question. Was it guns or was it something else? It's either guns. It was either purchasing a gun, or it was carry permit. It was one or the other. It had a question that specifically asked if you were Latin American. Is that guns?
Yeah, that has
What
one.
the heck? Yeah, what is that? There's literally. What is the question?
No.
Do you remember what it is exactly?
So it's an ethnicity question. So
Uh-huh.
it's like, well, it's weird because they have the first part of the question is like, are you, white Caucasian, African American, let's see, Asian. Like they have all, a bunch of different race options. And then there's a second option that says you have to check not Hispanic.
Yeah,
like,
what is that?
It's like the first part's like, are you Latino descent? And then the second half is like, are you Hispanic or not Hispanic?
It's
I'm
like a specific question.
Like, It's weird. I'm not sure
I
why that's on there. I think it has to probably do with some type of law or lawsuit or
yeah.
something that might have happened over the years, but it seems
Mm-hmm.
really weird.
Yeah.
It's very
It
strange.
was very weird. Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, anyway, you fill out all the paperwork. Then they're going to take that information. They're going to go plug it into the computer probably, or call. They can call the NICS system. That's a long process though. So usually they put it in the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's supposed to be instant. That's the whole thing. Is NICS National? It was instant something. I don't remember what the
Mm-hmm.
letters stand for again, but it's an instant background check. In reality, it's not instant. Usually, it takes a couple minutes. For the process to see if you have anything on your record that would prevent you from buying a gun. And you can also get what's called delayed. So that doesn't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
mean that you can't buy the gun, but it means they need to do more research. Maybe you have a very common name and there's a felon that has the same name as you, and
Ah.
your results
Mm-hmm.
popped up with theirs. And now they need to research it and figure out, okay, you're not that person. You can buy the gun. So you can get what's called
Mm-hmm.
delayed, where you won't be able to buy it until they approve it or a certain amount of time passes, which is
Mm-hmm.
this is a weird thing too with guns. So like if the FBI never gets back to the gun shop after so many days, they can legally sell it to you, even though they did not get an answer on the background check.
Huh.
And that is a complete failure of the FBI NICS system, in my opinion.
So
Um,
it's
yeah.
the impetus is on the FBI to get it done on time. Otherwise, it
Yep.
is.
The gun shop's discretion.
But
What
doesn't
if
okay? So you said it's a failure of the system, but on the flip side of that, what if the FBI just stalls on purpose?
I mean,
You
that's
know.
thing too. But I said if
Mm-hmm.
they don't answer, then the current system is you can buy it anyway if you wait enough days.
That's
So
I think that's wild on both sides of things. That's
it's bad.
crazy.
It's bad. It's
Yeah.
just a bad option. So um, I don't want to get political here, but
Yeah.
that's one thing that I don't see anybody talking about right now,
Mm-hmm.
and which
That's
kind of just
wild.
blows my mind. It's like, how about we just fix the system that's already there so it actually works like it's supposed to and is timely?
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like it feels like we have a lot of laws that are just not being properly used. You
Yeah,
know?
not poor government implementation really is once you get down to
Yeah.
it. And it's the same for the NFA stuff. Why does it take a year for them to do my paperwork when I buy something?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that is purely stalling. They just don't want to do it, so they take their
Uh-huh.
sweet time with it as a deterrent. It's a actual deterrent to try and get you to not buy things like this,
Uh-huh.
because it takes a very long time, and a lot of people don't like waiting. We live in an instant gratification society, so
Mm-hmm.
telling somebody they have to wait a year for something that they paid for usually doesn't go over too well.
Dude, people like I will join a stream and there'll be an ad and I'll just click off immediately.
Yeah, exactly. So like, people can't even be bothered with that. So you're
I
like, oh, you
know.
have to wait a year for this thing. Oh, and we need all your money up front, and you have to pay the government to have it. Yeah, a lot of people are just like, I'm out. Oh,
What
it's
do you
not worth
mean 30-second unskippable ad? Meanwhile, GachaGuns waiting a year.
Yeah, I play the long
The
game
long
here.
game. Okay, so when you have that now, right? What is the whole thing with like say you wanted to get something that was restricted, like a SBR, like we talked about this a little bit earlier. SBR suppressor, how much harder, like how much am I gonna be out funds wise? You said 200?
Yeah. So, oh, and real quick, just to wrap up the gun
Oh yeah,
purchasing
yeah, sure, go ahead,
discussion,
go ahead. Mhm.
your paperwork gets approved. In a lot of states, you can walk out same day. You just, okay, you're approved. Here you go. Go to the register, pay, leave. Gun.
Mhm.
You would just walk out. My record, I walked into a gun store and left with a firearm, completed all the paperwork, everything, 4 minutes.
4 minutes, damn.
Yep, that's checking out all of it. It's from
They must
I
have
knew
you on like the speedway on the
Yeah,
system
I was
though.
definitely speed run gun paperwork. Like I could probably do it blindfolded. I've done so many of them, and I worked
Uh-huh.
at a gun shop for a little while too. So I was like, I
Mhm.
know
Mhm.
how to make sure you fill out the form correctly. But yeah, generally speaking, not going to be that fast, but
Mhm.
probably within a half hour. Half hour to an hour, you can walk into a gun store, buy a gun, and walk out if it's a state that doesn't have a waiting period for
Mhm.
anything else. Okay, so NFA stuff, the
Uh-huh.
fun things,
The
machine
fun
guns,
stuffs.
silencers, short barrel guns like this. So what you do, there's two ways to buy them. One is you buy the gun complete, which I did with this X95. So I literally called up IWI. This is when I worked for a gun company, and they gave me a discount. But I was like, hey, I want to order one of those short barrel rifle X95s. They're like, okay, give us your dealer information. So you have to have a dealer that is capable of transferring this stuff. There's extra licenses they have to pay for. So not every gun dealer can transfer silencers, short barrel stuff. So only specific ones. So I gave them my dealer information. They do what's called a Form 3. They process it and ship it to my dealer. That takes about a month to get from IWI to my gun FFL dealer. Then I go there and I have to do what's called a Form 4. It's an NFA Form 4, National Firearms Act. Form 4, and that transfers the gun from the dealer, who is now the registered possessor or owner of it, to me. And that process is essentially the same paperwork that you fill out at the gun shop, the 4473 that you would have done to just buy a regular gun. So it's kind of all the same stuff. Then you also have to attach 2 copies of your fingerprints. So you have to actually have your fingerprint cards done. I have one here. Let me grab it.
Oh, dang.
So one of these fingerprint cards, you have to fill this out.
I like how you just had that. You're just like, fingerprint card. Yeah, let me get one real fast.
I just have a stack of these from the ATF because I do
Holy
them enough.
crap.
So yeah, you fill this out, you put all your fingerprints on there. You can do it yourself, by the way. You can go to your sheriff's office and pay them to do this, but you can do it yourself. So you do your fingerprints, and then you need 2 copies of that, a attached photo, and then you pay a $200 tax. So you can do a check, or you can do this all online now too. So the ATF has a website. You log into their website, submit all the information. You will physically mail in your fingerprint cards, and then you pay. They'll take credit cards. It's funny how accepting the government is to take your money and then like not do your paperwork for forever. Because they will cash that check like instantly. Like it's like so fast. You hit process and like boom, the money's out of your account.
Like, and then like, now let us wait for like a couple
non-refundable. Screw off. That money is ours.
Oh
now.
My goodness. Do they have a time limit? So, like they have a time limit they have to do it by, or no?
No time limit. They could take 10 years
Holy
if they want
shit.
to. So that's why I say
crazy.
You're totally at their the whims of the ATF. Generally speaking, paper forms used to take about 8 to 12 months, which is what I did that KSG one on. You can now do them e-file. They just brought back the website in December, so it's a new thing that you can do them electronically. People are saying about 4 months. I have one that's pending, a silencer pending, that's going on about 4 months now, and I still haven't got it back. So we'll see. We'll see how long it takes. But it is, again, it takes time. You do that's the money is annoying. The biggest hiccup with buying restricted items in the United States is the time factor. You can't walk in and buy it. You can't get it in a month. Usually, it's going to be a multi-month wait for any of the cool stuff.
So okay, so another misconception. Another misconception. I hear a lot of people that think that handguns are very easy to shoot, very easy to aim.
They're not.
Yeah, they're not.
It's so hard.
They're so hard.
Handguns are so much harder to shoot than rifles because you don't have the points of contact. You think about a rifle. When you have a stock, you put the stock in your shoulder. You're grabbing a grip. Your cheeks touching the stock. You've got 4 or 5 points of contact maybe with a rifle. So it's very tight. You have a good sight picture. It's not moving around like you move the gun. With a handgun, any little variance at all will get your sights like just the tiniest bit off, and you're not going to hit. Like you would think, okay, if you're aiming at something and you aim just a hair left, like, oh, I'd still hit my target, right? Not necessarily. Depending on the distance, you might completely miss. Just like a millimeter off to the side. It makes a big difference, or it can, depending on, again, distance. So handguns are extremely hard to shoot. It takes a lot of practice. It's like a Hollywood thing. People, again, John Wick, everything you just grab it and you're like running and like, you know, headshots, whatever. Like, no, that's not reality. one thing I think a lot of people don't know about guns is just how even pulling the trigger causes a lot of problems aim wise. You know, the act of it, right? Because it's not fast. I mean, it's not
there's pressure involved. It has
Yeah,
weight to
so
it. Yeah.
there's take up. So of course I just cleared this gun. The gun is unloaded, but
Mhm.
you have multiple stages on most triggers, and this is a pretty good trigger on the 5.7 really.
Mhm.
But you hit a wall, and then you have to kind of pull through that wall until it breaks. You'll hear that click,
Mhm.
and keeping the gun on target where you don't pull off to the side. Right-handed shooters like to usually pull. I think was it low right, because you're kind
Yeah,
of
it's
as you're pulling the
what would you
yeah as you're pulling the trigger you
430
jerk it.
ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's this tendency with new shooters when they go to shoot, they pull to the side, and so they always they're anticipating the recoil, so they do this where they flinch down. They kind of put the muzzle down to counteract that they know the gun's gonna recoil back, and so they'll hit low and either left or right, depending. And that's a very very common thing with new handgun shooters.
Mhm.
And you have to, it's just practice. You have to do lots of practice holding on target, very clean, deliberate trigger press, not pulling to the side.
Mhm.
And this is where things like what's called dry fire is a great technique for training.
Mhm.
So you don't have to go to the range. Bullets are very expensive. Cartridges are very
Yes, they
expensive
are.
these days.
Mhm.
So just sitting at home and, practicing that whole
By the way, that's one of the most
not moving.
irritating guns to dry fire.
Yeah, because it's got the magazine
It's
disconnect.
so irritating. Yeah.
So
I hate dry firing
you
my
can't
5.7. It's
pull
terrible.
back all the way because what happens? The 5.7's got a safety mechanism. If you don't know this chat, so when you take the mag out, trigger does nothing. You have to have a magazine
Which is like the opposite of what you want to do for dry firing, right?
to
You don't.
actually get it to fire.
Yeah.
So it's a real pain.
Yeah. Other ones that you dry fire, you don't really want a mag in there at all. You just want it like.
Nope.
Yep. 5.7. Why? Why?
Yeah, 5.7. It's such a cool gun, but it's so weird. It's got so many quirks and just honestly problems. Like if you're not a gun collector or just a gun nerd, I would not recommend a 5.7.
Yeah, I agree.
P90 either. PS90 is not a good gun for people who want to shoot a lot because you're not going to be able to afford it.
That was my second gun.
Yeah.
My second one.
Here's a funny story. Can you guess? So the first handgun I ever bought is on the table. Can you guess which one it is?
The first one. Wait, handgun?
Yeah, first handgun I purchased myself.
Oh no! It was the Deagle.
This was my first handgun that I
oh
ever
my
purchased.
god! I think it's so heavy.
It's so heavy. 4.5 pounds of steel. So yeah, it's got some weight.
You know what though? You know what is funny about the Deagle though is you always know when someone is shooting a Deagle at the range. Like you know,
super loud.
You're like, oh, there's a Deagle guy down there. you can feel it in the air. It's not even like the sound, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
So that's that's another good point that people think guns are just loud. It's like they physically move the air, like muzzle brakes like this. So here's the trade-off: a muzzle brake makes the gun louder but have less felt recoil.
Oh.
So that's why if you're standing next to somebody shooting a gun that has a muzzle brake on it, it's gonna be really obnoxious because it literally feels like a wave of air hits you. And the bigger the gun, the worse that is. So 50 BMGs, Barretts and stuff. If you're standing to the side of one of those, awful.
Dude, someone
basically concussion inducing.
Someone was shooting there was one time I was shooting MP7, MP5, those kind of guns. And I think I also had a mirror's leg. And then there was a person 6 bays down that was in a seated, those seated machine guns. You know what I'm talking
a tripod.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my god.
Yeah. 308 at an indoor range is the absolute worst. It's even worse than a Deagle or something.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
So bad.
You can feel it feels like there's a shockwave in the air, like a pressure. You can feel like a woof, on your face and stuff. It's wild.
In your chest, you can literally feel kind of like when you're at a concert and there's super loud music or
Yeah,
something, a bass note kind of hits you. It's a little similar to that.
Yeah.
When fire guns with really loud concussion blast.
Holy crap.
So
Deagle gets that. You get that boom to your your chest and your face. Yeah.
So this is purely based on my Counter-Strike fixation from my youth. Like that is the only reason why I bought a Desert Eagle.
How many
as my
dollars
first
per
handgun.
trigger?
Yeah, so I did get the 44 mag. That's the other thing. Oh, gotcha. You didn't get the 50 AE. What? Well,
What?
yeah, 50 AE is about $3 a round.
Yeah, there you go.
44 mag is like 50 cents a round. So, or it was at the
Big
time.
difference.
Yeah, big difference. I was a poor college student, so because I saved, when I turned 21, I was like, oh, I want a Deagle. I
How
want
much
a
is the
Desert
Deagle?
Eagle. I think I paid $1,600 for this one back then, so it's
Fuck.
not a cheap handgun.
That is
It's a very
pain.
expensive handgun.
1,600. You can buy like
Yeah.
3 handguns for that. Like
You can
more
buy
than
3
3.
Glocks for that. Yeah. So, and this is the first handgun that I bought with my own money and
Oh
everything. And
my
I was like,
God.
I just want Desert Eagle. So I saved up for like a whole year. It took me like a whole year of saving in college to be able to get enough to buy it.
Oh my goodness.
And then I ordered it. I had ordered it online because no one carried it in the store. And the funniest part was when I went to go pick it up at the gun shop, there's like this very stereotypical like old guy behind the counter. He's like, he's looking at it like, what is this thing that you ordered to pick up? And like I had never handled it as Eagle before. I'm like still gun noob at this point. I know nothing really. And so like he goes to try and charge this thing, like he like literally can't. He can't pull it back far enough to lock it open because the springs are so stiff in this.
Oh my God.
And then he hands it to me. He's like, all right, well, you lock it open. And I was just like, and I finally got it, like after like a minute of struggling. Because again, if you're not used to how you operate a handgun, it's not a normal motion that like people do.
It's not the normal muscles.
Yeah, a lot of times I think this is another myth that people think like, oh, you just grab a handgun. It's like if you've handled an airsoft gun or something, like oh, you just rack the slide.
Like John Wick, where he does it with the top of his, that one scene where he like flips it and then he like kind of uses his thumb and the top of his fingers to pull it back. Can you do that? Can someone do that?
The press check.
Yeah, the one where
he basically flips it back and he does that.
Yeah, like off over the top.
And then he does it.
Yeah.
So he's like this and he like goes around.
Yeah.
Checks it and then back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, 1911s, you can, like, if you have good grip strength, you can do that, but it's not like an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to do.
That was the cool thing to do in airsoft, is everyone was trying to do that with their handguns, because airsoft is, significantly less like the spring. There's no, like, the spring is like whatever on it, right?
Yeah.
So people, it was the cool thing for people to like throw their gun up and then catch it on the top and then like try to rack it like John Wick. Everyone was doing it. Everyone was doing it.
I can see it. Yeah, if you try that with the Desert Eagle, that is not going to work.
Not
at all. Again, the springs in this thing are ridiculous. Like it has, you don't want to get your finger caught in that thing. It is a bad time. So very, very strong actions. I think that's a one common misconception from people who haven't handled actual firearms versus like airsoft guns is like, oh, racking a slide on a gun's easy. Even the 5.7, I mean, it's got that resistance. We can talk about technique if you want, but there's basically when you grab a gun, people do this too. They operate them very like gingerly. They're like, oh, I don't want to break it. I don't want to go really slow or easy. And that's the opposite. When you charge a slide on a handgun, you want to be like you're trying to like rip it off the top of the gun. Like you pull it violently to the rear because you want that spring to compress fully and then do its work of going forward, stripping around out of the magazine up into the barrel and properly feeding it. So if you do it slow or you don't do it with a lot of force, you can cause a malfunction. Like that's a pretty common new gun handling thing too.
Actually, I got one question specifically for me. Is it true that putting a bullet directly through the ejection, like, what's it called? Where the bullet comes out of? Like
dropping it into the chamber.
Is that bad? Is that actually going to damage your gun?
It depends on the gun. It's not necessarily a good thing. So here's a snap cap. This is not this is a dummy round. It's basically just aluminum. So what happens with a gun if you were to just drop this in here? If you just drop that straight in there like that. Actually, I didn't get it lined up and it fell out. But if you drop it straight into the barrel.
It's on your deagle.
Yeah. So fell like right between there.
Yeah.
Say we just dropped it right in like that.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have that little round sticking in there. If I were to close the slide here, what happens is there's a little piece at the back. See if I can maybe point with something here. There's this little part right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the face of the breech. It's called the extractor. And what that does is it's like a little claw piece. It's a little claw piece that grabs around the rim of the cartridge, that back part.
The little lip thing.
The little lip.
Yeah.
Get it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you drop around in there like that and then drop it forward, it's forcing that little claw to snap around that rim.
Oh, so it's forcing in, basically. You're like,
yeah,
you're forcing it into the IC rather than grabbing it. It's actually like being pushed through.
It basically forces that little extractor claw to snap over the rim of the cartridge. I mean, it's brass, so you have to do it a lot, but over time you can wear out your extractor doing that.
I see.
Extractors are relatively cheap, replaceable parts, and if you shoot a gun enough, you will have to replace an extractor regardless, but you'll wear it out faster doing that. If you do it occasionally, I wouldn't worry about it, but it's like you just don't want to sit here to like do this over and over and over again.
Yeah, because
all the time.
I was doing this thing where I was loading my +1 into my EDC that way, instead of putting in a blank mag. You know, right? You take like a blank mag, you put like 1 in it, you put it in, you load that in, and then you put the fresh mag in, right? To like load for EDC. But instead, I was opening it and sticking it into the into the chamber.
Way, is fully load the magazine, insert it, run the slide, take magazine back out, put extra round in magazine, reinsert it into the gun.
Okay, so the reason I'm doing it the other way, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys, is because I'm a girl, and putting a bullet into the mag is kind of hard without the.
They make mag loaders.
But that's a pain.
Just keep it with gun.
It's so much easier to put it into an empty mag.
I hear you. So let me show you real quick what happens if you feed it from the magazine. So if I do this slowly, you'll see the round. Cool. Here, if I can, I'm trying to hold this in place. It's a little difficult.
Guys, if you guys like this kind of shit, you need to check out GachaGuns. This is all GachaGuns does on stream.
So as it's coming up out of the magazine, the rim slides under. So it doesn't snap over that extractor piece. It slides under it. And so see how the rim went.
It catches it basically.
Hook?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it feeds up under, and it doesn't put that pressure on the extractor.
I see.
So that's normal feeding operation. And so the whole point of that device is, it pulls the cartridge back out. Then you hit a little pin in there. It's called the ejector, and that's what kicks it out at the end.
Can you have you mastered okay, when you come home and you've got your EDC loaded, you got the +1, you take out the mag. Have you mastered the catch where you like
catch? No. I tried this on stream the other day and it was pretty bad. I'll try like once or twice.
I get it like 7 out of 8 times now. Because I've done it so many times, yeah. You come home, right? So what happens is, I'll explain real quick. So you have your gun when you come home. You've got a +1 in chamber. I don't know. That's a whole different discussion, but I think you should have a +1 in the chamber. Basically, since you have 1 in the chamber, you take out the mag. You have your full mag out, and then there's 1 inside still. And that's another thing you have to be very careful of, right? A lot of people, you have to always clear your gun properly when you're done with it. So there's going to be 1 in there. And then the way you take it out is like this right here. Let's see if you get it. Yo, you did it! You did it!
So you basically pull violently, it shoots it straight up, and then you have to catch it.
It's like Bullet Grubber from Hunt Showdown. When they rack it, and then the bullet flies out, and you catch it in the air. Yeah. That's a skill that I've learned after having to, because I don't want to, because it's kind of lame. It feels kind of lame when you kind of put it to the side, you kind of drop it into a tray or something. Is that what people do?
Yeah, usually just kind of upside down and
just kind of dump it out. Yeah, but it feels so good.
When you catch it, when you don't, you feel like a total dumbass.
Yeah, actually, yesterday was one of the first times in a while I missed. and then it like kind of came out the back like through the magazine, and then it just kind of like trickled out and like hit the ground. And I was like, oh man.
Uh, oh, well, I was gonna say something about that. I totally forgot. But yeah, that's a skill you can practice for funsies.
That's funsies, yeah. I mean, nowadays, like on the topic of dry firing, it's gotten with technology, it's gotten a lot crazier. Have you seen like those laser devices that people use? They put like a laser bullet in there.
So yeah, it's like a little unit. It looks like a cartridge that goes into the barrel, and basically it fires a laser when you pull the trigger, and you can. They have targets that will read like your shot placement where the laser hits and everything. So they're very impressive training aids, actually.
How do you feel about those? Do you have any? Or?
I don't have any. I think they're really cool. But all my money goes to guns. So.
Like
Like actual firearms. So every time I look at something like, oh, if you need to buy that, how much is it? $500? Yeah, I can buy another gun, or I can buy a case of ammo or something. So
also to get a different one for each like caliber, right? That's like kind of.
Yeah, and sometimes like some guns have to be kind of semi-modified to work with them and stuff. So you can like set
You have
up
like rail ones now, like, but I guess they don't really sell very many handguns with rails, huh? Under barrel.
Yeah, no, that's pretty common this day and age. Most handguns now have some type of Picatinny
Rubber band
rail that you can attach onto. Really small compact guns don't, like concealed carry super small guns because they just don't have the space. But even that, like even like the SIG P365, and I think the Hellcat has
I want the Hellcat.
One rail slot on it.
You ever shot a Hellcat?
A tiny shot. Flashlight. I've not. I've handled a bunch of them. I've shot the SIG P365, which is kind of the main competitor to the Hellcat. I've shot a few of those, but I have not actually got to fire a Hellcat. I've dry fired one like in a gun store and stuff.
I use a subcompact right now. That's like my. It's like compact, but not compact enough. You know, it's just it's just baby compact. Man. How often do you go to the range? Do you just
I used to go almost weekly when ammo was like affordable. So like let's say
That's the
2019, you know, I tried to go like a week or every other week, so at least a couple times a month. Now it's about once a month.
Do you reload?
Which is do I reload?
Yeah.
No, it's a very time consuming process. So I think a lot of people don't realize if you don't do it either, like, oh, reload, you'll save money. You don't really save money
Because
reloading.
it's time. Yeah.
It's time, and you might be able to get more ammo for the amount you're spending. Like you can make more ammo than it would be cheaper than just buying it already manufactured. But your time investment is you got to factor that too. And
A lot of people don't factor that in, like the time that it takes to like actually do all that stuff.
And some people enjoy it as a hobby. They find it kind of, therapeutic or cathartic or whatever. Just like you're like loading things and measuring and like running a lever and then like rotating things. Like it's got kind of a rhythm to it. So it could be interesting. But like I said, the time investment for me is just too much.
Yeah, the price is just went full nutty.
It's crazy. So that's where I can't afford to shoot every other week or every week anymore, as much as I would like to. And it seems kind of sad. You look at like, gosh, you have this amazing gun collection, and like most of these guns will get shot like once a year.
That's true.
Sometimes even less. Like it'd be a couple of years before I'll fire one because I just can't get to the range that frequently anymore.
So what's your favorite set? Say like somebody was like, "Hey, GachaGuns, like we've been friends for a long time, but I've never shot guns. Could you it's like that John Wick guy, like the sommelier. Yeah. Like what would you like to have? I know. Mr. Wick. What is for dessert?
Bold, robust.
That was like so douchey, but it was so funny.
It was douchey. And the part that killed me in that, you look in the background, there's like amazing like HKs, there's SIGs, there's all sorts of super cool guns. What does he fucking put out on the table? Like 3-gun customized Terran Tactical guns that are all made in the US. And it's like it's like just blatant product placement, because Terran Tactical is the guy who trained Keanu Reeves for the John Wick movies.
Oh, so like, is that what happened?
That's why it's all of his guns in the movie. It's literally just a giant ad for Terran Tactical firearms.
I wonder if they,
like,
I bet it worked. I bet it worked. I bet a
oh, they
lot of
sold a
people
crap
wanted.
ton of those after that.
Oh my god. I
But
don't,
that scene is like, yeah, there's these super cool guns, and like they don't pick any of them.
dude. That's
It's
the
like,
thing that I don't
bruh.
understand about God, which brand is it Winchester? That's very anal about like no Winchester guns in any games. Is that Winchester that does that? There's one
Um,
company that like will not let
could
people
be.
use their guns. Well, you have to like rename it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I've noticed this. Like you used to play Hunt a lot, and like what frustrates me about Hunt is like half of the guns were their original names, and like the other half were not, and like that confused me. Like all the guns should be
Winfield.
Winfield. Pretty much besides Winchester, all the other companies in that game, like the guns, the companies that made those guns in Hunt Showdown, like they're not in existence anymore. So like you can use those names
Yeah, the
without fear
Spectre
of
was one,
anything.
right? Like, what was the Spectre called? It's a
So,
shotgun. You know, the one that pops off the top. That's a little
oh,
flippy lip thing that like shoots it back.
the ejector. Yeah, it's just a single shot. But I mean, there's a bunch of companies that made those, but
Oh, speaking
uh,
of that, you know how people think it's cool to shoot a gun sideways? That's like a good way to get shot in the face by your gun.
yeah, the brass ejects right
Yeah.
into your face.
Oh, did I ever tell you that story? Where I was shooting an AK at the range.
I think so.
So
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
so don't ever. This is a tip for all you girls in chat. Don't wear an open top clothing. I was wearing like a kind of scoop V-neck when I went to the range, and this was like when I was super noob at it. Like I wasn't like I didn't really know that much about guns. I still don't, but this is when I was first starting out, and I was shooting an AK, and I had an open front top, with like cleavage in the front, right? And I shot the AK. The AK round flew straight up and over and just landed right between my boobs. And it burned. It burned.
Yeah.
But you know what? I kept my calm.
Bad.
I didn't drop the gun. I kept my calm. I set
Good.
it down. And then I was like, fuck. And I pulled it out.
No, and everyone, if you shoot enough guns, you've had that happen. At some extent, I've had hot brass go down my sleeve before, so like went all the way down and burned the crap out of my
Oh
like the
my
side of my
God.
arm. I've had one go down the back of my shirt, like it went over my head and down.
Oh,
Like
down
it
the little
happens.
back and the hole in the back of
Yeah.
your, yeah.
So they kind of do like the little like dance to get it out of your shirt. So
But it's so funny because the ejection port on the handgun is like usually on the right side. So if you're right-handed and you are shooting the gun and you turn it sideways, like gangsta style, it will like pop out like and hit you right in the head, right? Like right in the face, basically.
yeah, that can happen too. Or that extractor piece I was talking about, where you can wear it by dropping the round in there. If those are not tuned properly, they will affect the angle that the brass comes out at. So it's supposed to come back at like a kind of a 4 o'clock or whatever, or sometimes forward depending on the gun. Like it should be out into the right, but if it's not tuned properly, it might come straight back at you and like literally hit you in the face.
Wait, is this why I got burned by an AK? Was that broken on that gun?
I think probably what happened, because AKs eject rounds extremely violently, like high velocity. So when an AK, should I grab one? I guess I could grab
Sure. Wait, how many AKs do you have?
Like 6.
Oh my God.
So an AK, when you
guys
run
like
the
this
action.
You like this? Let me go get an AK real quick.
Yeah, let me just grab one. I'll just grab a Krinkov here, from the side. But when the AK action cycles, when it hits that rear part of the travel here, the shell ejects with extreme velocity. So probably what happened, if you were shooting at indoor range, it launched out of there, hit a wall or a ceiling or something.
Oh, and bounced back.
Like ricocheted back down.
Oh my God, that's what happened.
Because if you shoot AKs outside, you will, like, no joke, the brass will go like 30, 40 feet. Like,
really?
They go far. Yeah, it goes super, super far.
So don't stand on the right of a person. Like right back of somebody that's like.
Yeah. Usually, generally speaking, you don't want to stand the right side of people that are firing weapons, because the brass will eject that way. the gun's louder. You want to sit down directly behind people when they're shooting.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best place to not get hit with brass or the concussion and everything else.
You know what's crazy? So like that time that I went, right? I was with my cousin from Japan, right? And you know, like my family from Japan,
Oops.
they've never shot guns because you can't really do that, right? In like a lot of other countries, right? So they came here and they're like, oh yeah, let's like shoot guns. That's so cool, like America, right? So, America. You know what's crazy is my aunt came here. So my aunt came from Japan, and the first thing she said was, "The sky is so wide here." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? The sky is wide, right?" And then like you go to Japan, you're like, "Oh, I see what she means." It's like you look up and everything's just wires and buildings, right? It's like freaking cyberpunk looking shit, right? In Japan, but she was like, "The sky is so wide here." Like, what are you talking about?
I can see that.
Yeah.
And then if you're in a city in America, it seems like wide. But then if you go out in like the country somewhere, it's like super wide. You see for forever. It feels like.
So what they did was they had you know, they want to go shoot guns. Like, oh, here's a sampler. Like here's a Glock, here's a MP7, MP5, and here's a it was Glock, MP5, AK, and then a shotgun, a 12 gauge, right? And oh, I love how that looks. You ever seen the one with the tube sticking out the front?
The flashlight section that like
no, it's got the barrel sticking out the front, like a longer barrel.
Oh yeah, again, it's kind of like the PS90.
Yeah.
So, and I do have this is a suppressor for this one,
so good.
you can run the suppressor.
Do you have
do
you have the integral though?
The SD?
Yeah,
those are really hard to get.
Are they?
They're very expensive. Well, not
so
like crazy.
Nice. I like that MP5.
About $3,500 probably, plus the silencer and the SBR stamp. So you're gonna be close to $5,000 all said and done for an SD.
Those seem so appealing because they shoot like 9mm, and it's like 9mm is like one of the cheaper ones, right? It's like so nice. Like I kind of want one.
Yeah, and the same. I mean, you can shoot the same. This is just the only difference between the regular MP5 and the SD is the SD is integrally suppressed. So the suppressor comes back like all the way to like right here. So you have a shorter barrel section and more suppressor, so it's much quieter. And it also
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's got this really cool mechanism too, where it has holes drilled in the barrel that vent gas. So you can put we were talking about supersonic and subsonic ammo earlier. The MP5 SD, you can put supersonic ammo in, and it vents gas to slow it down to subsonic speeds. So you don't have to have specific ammunition for an MP5 SD 9mm. It doesn't have to be subsonic. You can literally put any 9mm in there, and the gun will make it subsonic.
That's some crazy engineering, actually. That's cool. Yeah. I didn't even know about that. Couldn't you just like on the ones that have the extra long barrel just sticking out? Couldn't you just put a fake suppressor on top to make it look cool?
You can, and a lot of people do that. But of course, the slap, you gotta do the.
I heard that was bad for it. Is that true?
It's not actually.
It's not.
It's in the HK operator's manual. Yeah, here's another myth. Yeah,
myth busted right here. Everyone says you're gonna break your gun if you slap. You do a little slap.
No. It's literally in the HK operator's manual that you can slap it. It's fine.
That is the coolest thing about it. The MP5.
Both metal surfaces, so you can do the karate chop like Keanu does in The Matrix, or really just kind of the open palm is usually more reliable.
Can you do that? Can you do that AK reload where you like use the mag to like knock the other mag out?
Yeah, you can. It kind of roughs up the front of your magazines because you're hitting this little tab here.
That's true. That's true.
So like these orange Bakelite mags are kind of collectible now, so I wouldn't do it with one of these. But you have like a cheap AK mag or whatever. Yeah, you can just flick it out and then put another one in. And then I do the HK the AK reach around.
The reach around, huh?
Yeah.
That's kind of hot.
Versus the rollover. So there's two methods to an AK reload. So you're out of ammo, you need to reload, you take your magazine out, you put your new magazine in, and see, I reach around. So I go under here with my thumb, I hook it on the charging handle like that, and then you do that.
So you don't have to go over, basically. You don't have to do the tilt and go over.
The rollover where you tip it over, come over the top. and so I prefer the reach
Is
around.
it
Is what I
faster?
say.
The reach around? You save some frames?
Maybe if you're good at it. Again, it's all just about practice.
Well, I guess it looks like
How
it would
quick
save
you
some
know.
frames. That'd save some frames, I think. Looks like it.
Yeah, I just find it's more comfortable to do it that way too.
So like back to that story. So, I had my cousins from Japan, right? And then they gave us like, like a shotgun, right? Like 12 gauge, right? With like slugs, right? And they're like, "Okay, we're going to shoot these guns." But it was supposed to be like a class too. Like we had like a range operator with us. That was supposed to teach us. And how fucked is this? They didn't correct their form at all. So, people who don't know how to shoot guns, my cousin had the butt of her stock in her bicep. And
Yeah,
then so she shot it. She shot like a butt, and she was like, "Oh, I hate it." And you know what they did is they had the guy stand behind her and like hold her back. Like so she doesn't like.
That's so stupid.
It's so weird. It
Show,
doesn't.
show somebody proper form. You don't need to like hover right behind them awkwardly.
I think they're just fucking
show
around,
them with the
man.
gun.
I feel like it's
Probably.
on purpose, dude. But anyway, so they shot a couple shots with the butt of the stock in their bicep, and the next day their whole arm was purple. It was fucking purple.
Yeah, shotguns kick a lot. Like of all the like just common firearms that you're gonna shoot at a range, like a shotgun is like the least forgiving of any of them.
Yup.
Especially 12 gauge.
And it was
so
not.
To start somebody on.
It was not like a small bruise. It wasn't like a local, like small, like 1 inch bruise. Her whole arm was purple. Like her whole side of her bicep was just purple. And I was like, holy fuck. Because they don't teach you that you don't actually put that on. When they say shouldering a gun, you're not literally putting it on your shoulder. You're putting it like right. How would I explain it? How would you explain it?
Yeah, it's more like, so your shoulder pocket's like that kind of like division that you have directly on your shoulder. You don't put a stock there. You actually kind of go over like an inch or two, maybe to the left. So it's kind of that more meaty part of your shoulder.
So it's going like back into your body rather than like off to the side and like kind of turning you,
So yeah, you kind of, I can't show it because I'm not all the way on screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like people think that you put it kind of all the way over into that little like crease between your arm and your body, and it doesn't go there. It goes like more like an inch or so to the left of that.
It's more forward.
More forward.
So your whole body, whole torso is basically absorbing it rather than like twisting your body.
Exactly. You're absorbing the recoil with your torso versus your like, arm more, or the shoulder.
All right. I got a couple more questions. I know we're going kind of late. Sorry about that.
Oh no, I mean we'll talk as long as
you want to
go, we can go. I don't care.
So sorry, did we? What we were asking you about, like if you had, your friend and you go into the range and like what sets would you show them?
Oh, like okay, we want a sampler.
A sampler,
from GachaGuns.
From GachaGuns, the sommelier.
The sommelier.
Yeah.
It kind of depends. I would usually, if they're not very comfortable with shooting guns, I would start off, small. Some people like to debate this, whether, I don't think it's necessary. I think you can go to 9mm or bigger even.
You say 22?
It's nice to start with a 22, suppress 22, because there's no recoil, there's no loud sound. You don't have to put hearing protection on. You can talk to people while you're doing it. So I find that's the easiest kind of firearm to start people out with. But if they don't want to do that, or there's like, I want to go for it, or they've shot firearms before, then I'll let people pick whatever they want. Like, what's the coolest looking gun you think that's in the collection? And the one that gets picked almost always, here, I'll set this down for a second. That's not the gun I was going to talk about.
Oh, that's a shotgun.
That's a Benelli M4.
I think that's no, that's not the one. That can't be the one that they shot.
Almost.
You have all the Counter-Strike guns. Do you have all the Counter-Strike guns? Except MP7. You don't have the MP7 yet.
Yeah. Well, so my Counter-Strike collection's like, I'm boomer, so like 1.6 or CS Source. Because CSGO, like, there's a bunch of guns that you can't even get in that game, but you can actually buy pretty much everything that's in the original Counter-Strike games. But the one almost everybody always picks is the
Oh,
Steyr Dog, the Steyr
really?
AUG, because it's such a weird, looking gun.
It is weird,
Um,
yeah. It
and I
looks
think
secret agent looking
it
thing.
does it's like sci-fi
I
almost. Everyone
know.
just gravitates to this, and the funny part is because it's a bullpup, everyone like doesn't know how to work it because
Mhm.
regular rifles, if you're not familiar with them, can be kind of confusing, and like
What is a
bullpups.
bullpup for people that don't know?
Um, yeah,
Hmm.
sure. So a bullpup rifle is basically when the magazine, oh sorry, I'm looking at the camera. The magazine and the mechanical part of the gun is behind the trigger group. So when you have
Hmm.
the trigger forward of your magazine, generally speaking, that's going to be a bullpup.
Where'd that name
Um,
come from? Do you know? Why is it bullpup?
so the etymology of it is like it was from I think World War One.
Hmm.
In Britain, it was the first country to really invent and use bullpup rifles.
Hmm.
And there's some like story about it's literally relating to like a bulldog, how they're kind of that
Oh,
scrunched look.
scrunched up look, the
Yeah,
face.
the like smashed face. So that's where allegedly the bullpup rifle got its name. It's in the book. There's actually a book called British Bullpups
Hmm.
by Jonathan Ferguson, who he does a bunch of series on YouTube. Like he talks about guns in like video games and then like shows
Ah,
their actual examples. He did one on Hunt Showdown. I think you actually maybe even played a clip of it on stream.
was it?
Um,
Was it? Is the one where he's just showing the
yeah,
historical?
he's showing
Oh,
like the
that guy.
historical
Yeah.
guns. That
Hmm.
guy, he's the one that wrote the book on it.
Oh,
So actually,
really?
I have a copy of his book. I haven't finished reading it though.
What's the
But that's where
advantages and
bullpups come from.
disadvantages of a bullpup?
So big advantage is they are compact. Because you look at this and you're like, wait, that doesn't look smaller than a regular rifle,
And it's not an
but
SBR.
it's not. This is not an SBR, and it has a 18 inch barrel here. So if I lock this open, this is the cool thing about the AUG. You just pull the
What?
barrel out. So
What?
yeah, it just
Wait, what
slides
happens
out.
if you shoot it without that? Does it
Well,
blow up?
no, it won't do anything. It won't chamber around properly if the barrel's not installed, so you can't shoot it out of battery.
Well, that's another misconception that if like you have a bullet and it goes off and it's not in the gun, it just kind of like just goes poop, right? Like, just like
Oh yeah, that's true too.
yeah.
Basically, for a cartridge to have a lot of pressure and velocity, it needs a chamber, a basically walls surrounding it.
Hmm.
So if there's nothing to hold in that pressure, if you set off a round, it's just
Like
like
with a
loose on
hammer
a
and a
table,
nail or something.
it just kind of pops. Like the brass just kind of pops at the path of least resistance, and it might throw some flash and powder, but it's not gonna like it wouldn't kill anyone.
The bullet just
Like
tumbles out, right? It just kind of
yeah,
like
it's gonna like
flips
tumbles
out.
out like a pretty
Yeah.
low velocity. Like it could definitely injure you, but it's probably not gonna be fatal.
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe a 50 BMG one or something would, but like any like a regular rifle
Yeah,
round or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
it's not, because it needs that containment to propel the bullet at velocity.
Hmm.
With no containment, the bullet doesn't have all the energy, just escapes versus pushing it down the barrel to make it go fast. So
So,
yeah, that's
the
the benefit of
advantages is
is
the
short
mhm.
overall package, with a long barrel, because long barrels are important because they give you more velocity, which
Mhm.
means bullets, better terminal ballistics. You can hit targets farther. The bullets perform better when they actually hit targets.
Mhm.
So that's why you want a long barrel versus a short barrel when you can get it. The downside of the bullpup really is they have bad triggers, because the trigger's up here. It's got like there's little linkages that run all the way back to the actual trigger and hammer, which is back here, just like the P90 was.
Mhm.
So they usually have really bad feeling triggers, and they are also almost always non-ambidextrous. So obviously, if you put your face on the left side of the gun
Oh
here,
god.
you're gonna be
You're not gonna have a good time.
no, you're gonna be eating some brass coming out of that ejection port there.
Oh my god.
So that's why bullpups are kind of some people don't like them as much for those reasons. Now, interestingly, the P90, PS90 is ambidextrous because it ejects the shells out the bottom.
That
Actually,
is
not this
nice. That is very nice about the P90. There's
little hole on
no
the bottom there.
no chance of anything, right? It just shoots straight down.
Yep, and there's a few guns that do that. Keltec KSG is a shotgun that does that.
I
The
do
Keltec
like that about
RBB,
it.
the FS 2000 kicks the shells out the front. So there's been a bunch of designs that have gotten around this over the years. But the traditional bullpup, it just kicks them out the side, and so it doesn't really work for like left-handed shooters. Or you have to convert the gun. You can actually set this up for left-handed and switch everything over, but you don't you don't switch them like quickly. It's usually kind of set the gun up for one or the other.
Yep. Not like a hot swap sort of situation.
No, there are newer designs that will do that, but older ones don't.
The FS 2000, isn't that like that really sci-fi looking FN gun?
The tactical tuna. Yeah,
Tactical tuna.
that's
Can you
its
get
nickname.
those?
Yeah, you can get one. It's one of the bullpups I'm missing in my collection actually.
Oh.
I passed on it. They make a green one that matches these the P90 or the PS90 and the
Oh,
5.7.
that's gonna be hard for you to get then, huh? Because you're gonna have to
they're-
get it in green now,
I
otherwise.
have to.
I
What
know.
choice do I have? I have no
Yeah,
choice.
That's you need the whole set
Yeah.
now.
I do, and they're expensive. So someday I'll track one down. But
So you stream? How often do you stream? You stream?
I usually stream twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and it's not by coincidence. That's actually the days that you don't stream.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I like
Good
watching
job.
your stream, Leaflit.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So-
Thank you.
Yeah, I set up my stream schedule that way. I can't. I work full time too, so like streaming on top of it's kind of a lot. So
Yeah.
I usually limit like 2, maybe 3 times a week
Mhm.
that I'll stream. But
How do you get a lot of people that kind of watch like what's I'd imagine you have a really interesting audience. You're gonna have people that are just straight like they're gun nuts. They love guns. You must get a lot of people that are just curious. You're like, what the hell is going on? Like I've never seen this.
yeah, it's a really weird mix because I get people who are VTuber fans. So I'm like, that's super cool. I get people who are like, "What's a VTuber?" And I like have to explain it to them. Like, wait, you clicked on my stream and you don't know what a VTuber is? Okay, but because they just see guns, they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this looks interesting. I'll check it out," and they've never even like heard of VTubing. So it's a real mixed bag of viewers, and I appreciate all of them. And it's interesting because I said there's a lot of different views from I feel like people who watch my stream.
Mhm.
It's not like one demographic at all.
Again, it's like the intersection. You know what I mean? It's like the intersect. You've got like the gamers who are like have seen all of these guns and goes, oh, like wow, that's like the real one. And then you've
Yeah.
got people who like VTubing, and you have people that like guns. You just got like a really interesting mix in your community. And again, the thing that I think is so cool is just the consistency of it, right? Like you'll have a streamer, like a VTuber or just a streamer that does like they'll do one show about guns. But like every show on GachaGuns is like at least starts with guns, right? The whole thing.
It's the every week gun show over at GachaGuns.
That's what people like. I think you should keep doing that. You should keep because it's so unique. Again, like I said, like there's no even if someone wanted to to do what you're doing, it would be very difficult.
Yeah, and Oliver has a good point here. I try and be pretty accommodating. Like if I get new viewers and like they want to see a specific gun, if I have one, I'll absolutely show it because again, I don't have everything. It's impossible, but I have a pretty dense collection of modern firearms. And again, I like stuff that again is in video games and Counter-Strike and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the guns that I do have are of that type. I have older, classic. We didn't show any Old West guns. I know those are your. Actually, I should have put a lever action up here just because, but
I want a mare's leg. I want to get one day.
Yeah, they're really neat. So I like all guns, but I tend to focus mainly on like the tactical, modern type stuff. It's not one we didn't even really look at, but things like this where it's just like
That one is so
super
cool. Oh, that's so
tiny, PDW, 9mm.
Those are my mom's
setup.
favorite kind of guns, like kind of PDW-ish ones.
They're super, super fun. I have a holster for this.
Oh,
Like the fact that, there's a holster that this
Oh
fits
my
into.
God.
They also make a laptop bag that it fits into that you can fire it out of the laptop bag. For like, it's supposed to be like a security detail gun. Like that was its original, purpose. So
dude,
kind
I
of-
want
kind of
that.
interesting.
What is it called? is it FMG? The one that is like literally, it's like
The
a little bag,
lunchbox.
the little
Yeah,
lunchbox gun.
looks
Yeah.
like a little lunchbox,
Can
and
you
you
get
like pull a
those?
lever and you throw it. They're making it now.
Oh, they're so cool.
I think they said
Are they
early next
Glocks? They're
year.
Glocks, right? Aren't they?
It's based on a Glock, but it's
Mm-hmm.
made by Magpul and a company called Zev Technologies, who makes
Mm-hmm.
like really Gucci Glock parts.
Those are so
So
cool, though.
they're actually making it. Magpul is just kind of the intellectual property owner of it. Last I heard was maybe early 2023, but we'll see.
The little pop that it makes is like, and then like it just pops open. I love that.
If it
So,
comes out, I'll get one.
all right.
So
So, yeah, thank you so much for being. I got one last question.
sure.
Last one. Um, what is the gun that you really want? Like, what is like your holy grail?
My
That like
grail,
this is
the
the
grail
one.
gun.
The grail gun. What's your grail gun?
My grail gun is one, unfortunately, I probably will never get to own. It's a Stoner 63A. So what that is, it was invented by Eugene Stoner, same guy who invented the AR-15 and the AR-10. It was used by Navy SEALs during Vietnam, and it's this super modular, configurable, basically rifle that can be set up as like a small carbine, a full-size rifle, a Bren gun conversion where it's got magazines that feed on the top of it. You can flip the
What?
receiver upside down and turn it into a open bolt belt-fed machine gun.
Holy crap!
Quick detaching barrel. And it's like the most modular gun I think in existence, and it's super cool. A lot of people don't know about it. And it's a shame that basically it never went anywhere. It was like too complicated of a gun for like regular troops, but the Navy SEALs like loved it because it's super light. It only weighs like 12 pounds, but it has the same capability as like an M249, which weighs like
Oh damn,
over
yeah.
20 pounds.
LMG,
So it's like 10
yeah.
pounds lighter and just crazy capable, but kind of high maintenance and a complicated design. So super neat. I have what's called a Robinson Armament M96, which is kind of a clone reimagining of it, but it's not the same gun. It kind of looks like a Stoner 63, but it's not.
So
That's the closest I'd ever get.
is it just hard to get? Is it rare? It's a rare gun.
Yeah. So what happened was after Vietnam, the Navy SEALs kept them in service till I think the early 1980s, and then for some reason the U.S. government decided to just destroy them all.
Like destroy them?
They literally took a torch to them and chopped them all up.
Holy fuck! So how
And
many exist still?
there was only about 2,000 originally.
Oh my god! It's already not a lot.
Yeah, and the ones that survived, there's I think estimated to be less than 100.
Holy
So,
crap!
of which Reed Knight, the guy who owns Knight's Armament, if you've ever heard of that gun company,
Yep.
they're a major manufacturer, U.S. military contractor. He also has probably one of the biggest gun collections on the planet.
Oh my god!
And he owns supposedly like 75% of them.
He
So
just
of
has them
the
all
ones
in
that
a
are
vault.
left, yeah, because he worked with Eugene Stoner in the 90s to make the SR-25, and like so they kind of like knew each other. They worked together, and he like had an in. And
Yo,
he
he's
just
that
got all of
guy.
them.
He freaking
He's
Seto
that guy.
Kaibaing that shit over there.
Just hoards them all, and none of us plebs can have
Do
any
you
of them,
also
so-
have the stoner? I'm gonna have to destroy it,
Yeah.
so it cannot be
So-
used against my collection.
When the ones that are for sale do come up, there you go for about 120,000 plus.
Oh
dollars.
my goodness! Oh
So
my
yeah,
goodness!
I'll never own one.
Holy shit!
So I'll just have to be content with my.
Is that
Robinson Armament.
too far for a gun for GachaGuns? 120,000.
I mean, if I like won the lottery or something, I would do it.
Okay,
but-
I'm rooting for you to win the lottery so we can see it on stream.
Oh, I would shoot the hell out of it and totally show it and talk about it. I got to see one in a museum and I was like drooling on the glass.
Oh my god!
There, I was like, oh, it's the one. It's the one I'll never have. If somebody would just recreate it, I feel like you could make a new one from scratch for less than $120,000.
Probably, yeah.
It's just a ton of work and time. Like farms, we didn't even really talk about it at all. But I did work for a gun company for a while.
Oh wow!
And the engineering and the product development that goes into that stuff takes a lot of time.
I'd
and money,
imagine.
so,
On top of having to deal with regulations and all sorts of crap. That's
yeah.
rough. Do you wanna actually you wanna take questions from chat like after
Yeah.
like a quick break?
Sure, definitely.
All right, so you can find you can find GachaGuns on twitch.tv/GachaGuns. You're also just at GachaGuns, like Gacha. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to ask. But you know what? Why don't I ask that when we get back, and then that'll be like a YouTube special. I want to ask you, why GachaGuns? Like, why the name GachaGuns? You know?
Oh yeah, sure.
We'll answer that. So yeah, at GachaGuns on Twitter, twitch.tv/GachaGuns. And anything else you want to plug? You doing anything cool soon, or just same old?
I said I've got my 1 year streamer anniversary
Heck
coming
yeah.
up end of July. I think it's gonna be July 29th or 30th. So that
Mm-hmm.
look forward to that. I'm gonna do kind of a long stream. I've got a bunch of new things, content to share. There's gonna be merch coming out, which is like
Merch, let's
I
go.
know, right? I didn't even think like how have I already got merch as like a small VTuber? I was like, it was crazy.
Yo, Hana
But
Katana patches when?
yeah, patches sadly are not in the cards for this round, but
Uh,
I want to do like I
I'm
love
gonna get
tactical
one.
patches. Um, because have you seen here real quick?
All right, show me. Hit me with it.
Have you seen the tag ones?
Oh my god, yeah, those are cool.
I thought those were pretty funny. There's a
Wholesome
whole
Yuri.
series, a whole series of them. Some of them are not quite so wholesome, but those are
You
funny. Of
got
course, I have
tap
like
rack
the
bang. I like that one.
I have the blow me one. You've seen that one from Weapons Grade
I
Waifus.
collect. I have so many patches. Have I ever showed you? I have so many.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're just fun. They're fun
they're
to collect. So
fun.
I
Yeah, they're
totally
fun to
want to
collect.
do a Gotcha Guns
You
patch at
gotta, you
some
gotta.
point.
I will buy it. I will buy it for sure. Well, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Like it was really fun. It was really nice catching up, you know. And
Yeah, anytime.
yeah, we should hang out
So
more.
definitely, I love talking about firearms. If it wasn't obvious.
I also like firearms, so it's a good conversation. It was like this time, it blew by fast. I didn't even like. I was looking at the clock. I was like, holy fuck, it's been like 2 hours
Yeah,
already.
I haven't even paid attention. It goes super fast. Like I said, I feel like we didn't talk. There was so much stuff we didn't
Yeah,
talk
there's so
about
much we
even.
didn't talk about, like that we were gonna talk about. Anyway, I'll catch you after the break, and we could take some questions from chat. They'd love that.
Sounds good.
All right, quick break. All right, we're back. Hey, what's
Hello.
up, Gasha? Sorry, man. I had to pee so freaking bad. I freaking
No
Naruto
worries.
run to the freaking toilet.
I don't know what it is about streaming, but like I never have to use the restroom while streaming.
Really?
It's weird. Like I don't know. I can do like 4, 6, like 7. I've done like 7 or 8 hours and like not
Holy
having to use the
crap.
restroom. Like it seems weird because if I'm not streaming, like I totally you
I
have to
think it's
go.
because I drink too much. Like I drink like a lot, just to kind of like keep like, because I'm not used to
I can't even
talking.
bottle of Chevy.
Dude, I don't talk that much. You know,
Yeah.
like in person, I don't talk that much. So it's like I'm constantly having to drink water to like keep like
I guess
keeps
that's
the
the same.
flowing
I'm
there.
not a talkative person, by the way. Like if you met
But,
me like just normally, I wouldn't talk to you at all.
yeah.
Probably.
I mean, that's what's so nice about like kind of the internet, though, right? So like kind of a lot easier for people like us, you know. All right, you want to take some questions from the chat?
Definitely.
All right. So what's it like actually before that? Where is Gotcha Guns from? The name?
So the name, I was trying to come up with a good streamer name, and I was like, I looked at a bunch of other ones. I don't even remember what they were now, but like everything was taken.
Do you play
Like I
Gotcha
must have
games?
tried. I used to play some. I don't anymore.
Too
And
expensive.
like, yeah, it
Guns are
was.
just
No,
I
well, it's like it eats into my gun budget,
you can
right? So
buy a gun for like the cost of sparking in the game, like an actual
yeah.
gun.
Well, I was like, after a while, I was kind of like, this is fun. Like, I like it. I like cute waifus, of course, but
Hmm.
I like guns. I think a little bit more, so
It's
I stopped.
fair.
But I do like it, and kind of the idea behind the whole name was, a gotcha's, it's a random draw, right? And so I kind of wanted it to be Like when you join my stream, it's a kind of a random like gun draw. Like you don't know what you're going to get to see.
Oh,
So it's kind of like a gotcha stream. Like
that's true.
the guns are randomized, and you don't know
So around how many
for
have
some
you dropped
extent.
into the ocean?
Maybe 400 or 500 at least.
Wait,
No, no,
what?
I'm
Holy
joking.
fuck.
I'm joking. I don't have that many guns. I have a lot. I have a lot of guns, but all of them. They're all in the ocean. Every
I mean,
single last
like,
one.
I have, like, I want to say, I feel like I dropped around, I mean, me and my mom combined dropped maybe like 8 or 10 to the ocean. And I feel like that was a lot. It's like looking at yours is like, holy fuck. Like,
Yeah. Here, I'll give you. I usually don't answer this on stream, but I'll give you a ballpark. It is more than 75 and less than 100.
all right. That's the amount that were dropped into the ocean. Okay.
We're dropped in the ocean.
We don't have
Yes.
those anymore. That's crazy. Holy crap. Um, yeah. I mean, so yeah, gotcha guns. That's I see where you got the name from now.
And I like the alliteration too. I thought it sounded nice. Kind of rolls.
It does
off
sound
the
nice.
tongue.
Gotcha guns. It sounds
GG.
good.
I like that the initials are GG too.
Oh man. Yeah, when are we gonna have wait, is there GachaGuns.com? Is that like a
No.
Oh, we gotta take that before someone else does.
Probably better.
GachaGuns.com.
Yeah.
Well,
You
there's
know
no
what pissed me off?
GachaGuns.com. You gotta go
You
take
know
it.
what? Yeah,
Do it
I better
tonight.
go snag that. What really drove me crazy was the Gmail was taken. Like
What?
yeah, Gotcha Guns at Gmail was
Well,
used. I was like, really?
well,
Who on
well,
earth has that?
Imagine now you could have GachaGuns at GachaGuns.com.
That's true. That
Yeah.
is true.
That's the good
But
shit.
I did manage to get Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, all of those. So I got all the major ones.
All right, that's good. All right, let's see. Any questions from chat? Let's see. I don't know how much time GachaGuns has, so I don't
I have all the time.
all the time in the world. All right, let's see.
All the
Thoughts
guns
on
fell in the ocean, so plenty of
That's
time.
true.
now.
That's true. Thoughts on the M5 Spear, my dude?
The Spear is the new U.S. military rifle that was just adopted. SIG M5, basically replacing the M4. It's in a larger caliber than 5.56, and the gun's heavier, bulkier, and in my opinion, makes no sense as the new military rifle. I think somebody at SIG has got
Somebody,
some kind of insider access, because SIG has
inside his mouth.
they have like 5 of the U.S. military contracts now. They got the M17, the M18, the PDW, the new military M5, and a belt-fed gun. And I'm sorry, SIG's not that good of a company to just secure all those. So
I didn't really like
kinda
SIG
silly.
handguns either.
They're okay. They're good. They're all
I'm,
good
like, super into
quality,
it.
but I'm
How do you
not.
feel
I'm
about
not
the
like
shield?
a SIG collector. So I'm not a fan. I've shot
Me
a bunch
neither.
of shields.
Why people are so like they're like it's so I feel like it's so polarizing even more than the Glock. Like people just
Smith & Wessons.
the shield.
I mean, it's not a bad gun. I know 2 friends that have them, and I've shot the 9 and the 41. The 41's ridiculous. It's so snappy. It's awful. But they work. They handle fine. They're just, when compared to everything else on the market, I'm like, I'm not gonna choose this.
What's your go-to EDC?
I carry a Glock 43, which is a super tiny Glock.
Mhm.
But that's because the Springfield Hellcat and SIG P365 were not out when the last time I was in market for a easy, concealed carry gun. So if I was buying again today, probably a SIG P365.
Yeah, switching EDC is kind of rough, right? Because like you have so much time with the one that you have.
Holster too.
Yeah,
and
holsters and
everything
your
else.
whole rig
And I
setup.
shoot Glocks really well. Like I've handled and shot a lot of different. I've got like 6 or 7 different.
I love that
Glocks,
color.
so
The
peanut butter lock.
yeah.
This is FDE.
Yeah, the
but-
FDE. I love the FDE scar too. Like I love the 2-tone color on it. It's like kind of cream, and then it's like got like desert and then FDE on it. You know what I mean? It's like it looks so nice.
Good looking guns. I don't have too many FDE guns. Mostly black, or I like green. Green's my favorite gun color. So
we have a forest green KSG. That's actually real.
Hmm.
one that we have.
KSGs. Like I said, I'm excited. I had a black one, and I sold it to buy the short barrel one. And hopefully, I'll have it soon.
Ah, so you've shot
Oh,
you've shot a KSG before. Did you have any
yeah,
problems?
yeah.
A lot of
I
people
owned one
say
for.
it, you know what I mean. Like, a lot of people like it fucking jams. I've never had a jam ever.
Yeah, I never had problem with mine either. So I don't know. I think if you're doing it wrong, if you short shuck a shotgun, they will have problems.
I think
And
that's
it's
the
easy to do
problem. You know.
with a KSG because it's kind of a short throw, so you really have to run the action on it. But the whole reason I got
What the fuck is that? That's
the
a
whole
crazy
reason I bought
suppressor.
yeah, the whole reason I bought another KSG was to use this, which is
Oh
a
my
shotgun
god,
silencer.
that's
So
fucking massive.
yeah, that's what she said. Um,
Hey.
so yeah, it's installed on the end of a shotgun to suppress it. It's
What?
huge.
That's crazy. You ever seen that one? What's that one handgun that has like it looks like the Dominator from friggin' Psychopaths. You know what I'm talking about? It's like
Mm,
it's a handgun that comes suppressed and it's got this giant block on the front of it.
oh, the Silencer Co. Maxim 9.
Freaking space gun looking
Yeah, same company
Dominator.
that makes this Silencer
I
Co.
think that's why I thought of it because it kind of looks like it.
Yeah, they have that suppressor I had on the 1911 earlier. It's also squarish. That's kind of one of their trademark things is they
It's
do like
square.
square shaped
Hmm.
suppressors instead of like they do round ones too, but they're kind of known for that.
Damn, that's crazy. You know what's wild? I was watching. You ever watch that? God, who did that? Was it Smarter Every Day who did like a whole video on suppressors? Did you see that?
I haven't.
They were
I don't
shooting
know.
clear suppressors just to like see what actually happens.
Oh, that'd be
And
interesting.
and it was interesting. Like the guy, they were like, "So how do you come up with this design with because like the suppressors are not just like." It's not just a can, right? There's like all this like these gas brakes on the inside, right? That are like all
Yeah,
shaped certain ways.
full.
And they asked the guy, they're like, "So how do you come up with these designs?" He's like, eh.
Yeah,
just,
just
just put some
whittle
shit in
something
there.
out there, you know. No engineering or anything.
Yeah, and then I was like,
Yeah.
really? They just fuck around and then they measure the. There's no like science behind it. Like you don't have like a specific like
Yeah.
this array
I
is
mean,
really
there
good.
is, but that guy apparently didn't do any
Fucking
of it.
diamond patterns and like freaking Spider-Man looking webs on the inside.
So yeah, real quick, just to show this is the interesting thing about this shotgun one. Do you see all those little rods in there?
Yeah.
It's got these little
Oh, I see it
rod
travel.
system.
Yeah. What the
So
heck?
what the whole point of that is because you think of a shotgun, right? Shotguns don't shoot solid projectiles; they
Yeah,
shoot
yeah, yeah.
shot like little
Mm-hmm.
BBs. So if you didn't have something to keep the wad, the plastic piece that holds all those BBs together when it's traveling through the suppressor, they would just disperse all
Yeah,
inside
yeah,
this.
yeah.
It'd be a disaster. So the whole point of those little rods in there is they essentially keep the shotgun cup together as it travels through the suppressor. If I can get this dang thing to line up. So they
Oh.
keep it together, but they let gas vent around it. So the gas vents out between the rods into the baffles to quiet the sound down, but the little rods keep the wad
But
together so you
like
don't
there's
lose
not
your
enough
shot.
friction basically to like kind of make it like
No, it doesn't get caught or
Oh.
anything. So yeah,
That's
that's how this
crazy.
works. It's pretty interesting.
That's
This is
wild.
modular too. All these little segments, you can take these out. You can shorten it. This is a 12-inch one. You can get it down to I think 6 inches is the smallest setup that it'll do.
Gee, how much was
But
that?
I bought it right when they came out. They're cheaper now. I was a sucker for it. I was like shotgun silencer, hell yeah.
It looks so cool.
It was like $1,000, which is not a good investment.
That's a
You can
good
get them I think for
question.
about 700-ish
That's
now.
a good question. Does that reduce the spread?
No, on this. So this is a choke, by the way. So the whole point of a shotgun choke is it constricts the tightness of the group as the wad travels through it. So basically, you still have a choke at the end of the barrel, that controls how tight your grouping is. The suppressor itself doesn't affect it really.
Okay. That's crazy. That looks so cool. I see why you wanted the KSG specifically because that looks really that's gonna look cool
Imagine
on a
this mounted
KSG.
on the front of a KSG. It's gonna look like
Yeah,
a freaking pulse rifle. It's
I
gonna look something out of
know.
Aliens.
Man, that's wild. You ever seen like the there was like a single tube KSG. It's like a little tiny like
KS7.
yeah. Which
Yep.
Do you like that
They're
one more, or
they're
the two?
they're cool. They're very handy. They kick like nobody's business though, because
Oh
they're
God.
actually super light. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people don't think about that too. Like the KSG already kind of kicks a lot,
Uh-huh.
and it's a much heavier, bulkier gun. The KS7 is like take a pound off the KSG, and then imagine the extra recoil that you're getting from
Holy
that in a
shit.
12
Yeah.
gauge like slug or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like not fun to shoot anymore, but they are super super handy. I would take a KSG over the KS7, but I mean they're cool guns too.
Do you think
They're essentially
the tube switch is like a good feature on the kit? Like, do you think that's actually useful?
I think it could be done better. I think it could, because there are shotguns out there that will switch automatically between like when one tube runs dry, like it'll go to the other,
Oh, that's right. It
um,
doesn't. It doesn't actually switch.
and
You have
it
to like
doesn't. You have to
manually like,
manually go back and flip it,
and it's
and
not
I
like in
don't.
the best spot. It's like
No, it's like
yeah.
way back. You gotta like reach way back there to hit it.
Yeah. Mhm.
And the KSG, I don't really. I'm not. I don't subscribe to the like load one type of ammo in one tube and one in the other, because like in the heat of the moment, you're not gonna remember which one's like
That's
which
true. That's true.
probably.
That's one
So
thing people
I
don't think about is that a lot of times people are like, oh well, like you just need like you hear like, oh, just use a revolver, like six shots all you need, right? Like, but like if you
what
miss
if
the
you
first
miss?
one, if you miss
Or
literally the
top
first one,
three?
right? Because your
Yeah.
first one is your most accurate, right? You shoot the first one, and after that, your brain is just fucking done, right? Like you're just your
Adrenaline and
adrenaline,
everything.
and this is one thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but it's talked about specifically in you taking like a carry class, like a concealed tactics or
I
anything like that.
have in the
hmm
past. Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that they do teach you in that is that what happens to your body under that kind of like mental stress is that
hmm
like once so you can maybe if you do it right away you can maybe calmly fire the first one. So that's why like you should like kind of try to aim your first two like well, because after that what happens is all the blood in your limbs, they move to your torso. And the reason why is because adrenaline is like trying to keep you alive, right? That's the whole point, right? So
Yep.
all of that blood moves to the inside of your body. That way, if you are injured on your extremities, you take less damage. You don't bleed as much because all of your blood is kind of like sucked up into your torso. But
But you lose your motor controls.
exactly, that's the negative of it now is that your hands start to shake. That's why your hands shake when you're kind of in a pressured situation is that all of that blood is kind of like not there in the normal amounts, which causes you to just kind of like shake your legs, your arms, like your knees are like wobbling. It's because of that, the shunting effect of the blood going there. So that's why I mean that's the reason. It's kind of like, well, I think statistically it's like 7 to 8 in a gunfight to like incapacitate someone. Like
Oh,
that's the
rounds? Yeah,
statistics.
it's a
Yeah.
lot more than people are like, well, just shoot him in the leg. Or like, no, that doesn't work either. And even like center mass hits, it's usually at least 3 to 5
hmm
generally to actually
I
incapacitate
think it
someone. Like,
was 7 to 8, like
yeah,
including the misses. Basically, it was like 7 to 8
yeah.
on average
Average
shots.
rounds fired in a confrontation,
hmm
like police confrontation or other things. Otherwise, it's a lot more than you'd think it would be,
And
because again, people miss, stress, everything else.
And you have a lot of people that like one crazy thing is I actually look into a lot of this because like as a person that does carry, I feel like it's important to like know the statistics, like kind of like learn from history sort of thing, right? And one of the things that's really interesting is like people don't know how many rounds they fired at the end, right? But how
They
many rounds
can't
did you
tell
fire?
you.
Oh,
Literally
four.
no
And
idea.
it's like they
Yeah,
emptied like they used an entire mag. They're like, oh, four?
17.
Like, yeah. It's just because it's a lot of like mental stress. People are like really like, you know you're in like a kind of fight or flight situation, and it just messes with your mind. Like as far as you're fully focused on like surviving to that point that like all of the stuff that doesn't matter just kind of like evaporates from your mind. You know.
Mhm.
hmm That's very interesting. Um. God, what were we talking about? I feel I tangent so much.
Questions? Yeah.
Oh yeah, any questions?
Uh,
Any questions for
and
Catching
so
Guns?
Jeffy asked what's the oldest gun I have.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
a
an
good one.
1890s coach gun with Damascus barrels. It's not safe to shoot. It's like a wall hanger gun.
Wait,
That's the
it's not
oldest one.
safe to shoot? Wait, what?
No, because if you put modern ammunition in it, it literally could blow up. You
Holy
have to use
fuck.
you have to use black powder ammo because the metallurgy of those old Damascus barrels is not so good. and so they're not really
Oh, they'll
rated for the high
explode.
pressures.
They'll
They'll
explode.
literally explode.
Yeah.
So, and then also about the M5 too. Yeah, I do know it's not supposed to be a 100% adoption for the U.S. military, but they should have just used it as a specialist rifle. It doesn't make sense to give everyone like this big, heavy gun that you carry less ammunition for. I feel like even if it's not 100% adoption, it's more adoption than I think would be necessary. Like just give it to DMR.
Firearms instructor says you're a baka dingus.
Yeah, he does that. I might check it too.
There's a question. Are there any ways to tell a blank from a live round? You mean like a blank that fires blanks, or like a dummy round? Dummy rounds are like one piece and they're like funky colors usually.
So a dummy round, something like this, they're usually made out of a different material. They're not actually the same as a real cartridge. So it's pretty easy to tell this is not a real round. It's aluminum. You can get dummy rounds that are literally just brass and actual bullets loaded though, and like they'd put no primers or powder in them. Those are technically dummies as well. And those you can't distinguish other than if you look at the back, they might not have a primer. There might be no primer, so that little circular piece at the back of the cartridge, that might be missing. Blanks will have no bullet. There'll be no bullet seated in a blank. It's usually just the cartridge, and then they crimp it. They kind of like squash the end to hold the powder in, but there's no physical bullet in a blank.
It looks like a kind of like shotgun looking sort of a thing.
Yeah, kind of like the end of a shotgun where it's all squished in the end. But like imagine a piece of brass like that where they just kind of squish it to hold everything.
You know what's crazy is that, did you know there's airsoft events that let you bring real guns with blanks? Just for like, just for like the freaking theatrics of it, but that's fucking scary, bro. Like, what the fuck?
It's a little scary. Like one person messes that up, and it's a real bad time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm sure they check it and shit, but still, it seems a little bit weird to me that they would allow that.
I would be nervous because I just don't trust other people as much.
Dude, I've been to so many, like, oh god, I've been flagged so many times at gun classes, dude, by like just people, just like, bro, like I've been to like carry classes where people like I've seen people get kicked out of carry classes before, just freaking flagging people all day. I'm just like, oh my god, dude. I can't even imagine doing that. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
well, again, it's that whole mentality. Like, people pick up a handgun, they're not. You have to kind of imagine like there's a laser coming out of the front of this, and like anywhere you're pointing that should never be at another person.
Imagine it's a lightsaber, basically.
Yeah, the lightsaber, exactly. So like you do not point it at other people. Like if somebody's in front of you go down and like around and like back around. If you had to like move the gun in a direction around the person, like you do not just go straight across, because that's called sweeping, and you now just pointed a gun at a person. Whether it was loaded or not doesn't really matter. Like that is a no go in firearms handling.
No good.
You don't do it. It's bad.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, it was like a carry class. It was fucking wild. And it's like this woman, I remember, it was an old woman, and she got kicked out because she was just constantly like flagging people, and I was just like. And it's so awkward too. It's like when someone does it to you, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong?
They're usually oblivious. That's kind of the reason they do it, is they're so oblivious to it, they don't even realize they're doing it.
Yeah.
And so you have to be mentally aware at all times when you're handling guns.
Yeah, and it's
always pointed in a safe direction.
It's also it's kind of like I have like routines, like when I come home and I'm emptying the gun, I'm like, I pop it out, I do like visual, and then I feel like I actually stick my finger into the chamber, make sure there's nothing in there, check the indicator, check literally everything. You know what I mean? That way there's like there's no possible way. Yeah, there's no possible way that like that could have happened.
And complacency is when accidents happen. People get a little too casual with it and everything else, and that's when you have an accident. Even
with like really, there was a good, I don't know if there's a gun YouTuber who did that, where he was like, he got kind of a little bit complacent, he ended up like shooting himself in the foot or something, or was it the hand? It was one or the other. Just from like, oh, I know, I got this. Like, there's no way this would be loaded right now, and then like, that's how it happened.
People too casual with it, so
you gotta be careful. Great responsibility,
Yep.
More questions. Totally. More questions. Yeah. All right, what do we got? Any other questions? Oh, that's another thing I think a lot of people don't think about is that you also have to be worried about walls as well when you're
Go straight through walls.
yeah,
So like
wall bangs
this is
are real.
that was this was a great one we should have talked about or could have for gun myths that like things are cover. Like
Yeah.
most
Oh,
objects
right.
are not cover. A car
Yes.
is not cover. A wall is not cover. Um, like bullets go right through these things. Like
How
that
about
is such a
engine block?
Hollywood.
That's one thing
Engine
we
block's
learned.
the only part of a car that
That
will stop a
yeah.
bullet or like
Mhm.
reliably.
Yep.
So if you have to take cover behind a car, you go for the engine block. The rest of
Mhm.
it, door panels, interior, bullets will go zipper
I
right
go
through
through
that. Even
both
handgun
too.
rounds.
Go through
Yeah,
them
both
both.
sides.
Yeah.
All
Mhm.
sides, glass, doesn't matter. So that
Concealment versus cover, right?
yeah,
That's the.
concealment versus cover. So yeah, it's a
Mhm.
total Hollywood thing that like objects, like somebody flips over a table, like a table in a
Yeah,
movie,
that's really
and they like
funny.
hide
Yeah.
behind it. Like, bro, bullets go right through. It's
Y-
wood.
People
Go
are just
right
gonna
through
light you
that.
up like through the
It
table,
totally,
basically. Yeah.
exactly. You're dead.
In a real situation, and yeah, even I mean, it's the same thing. It's one thing that they do teach you a lot in defense stuff. It's kind of like you're in the room. It's like, okay, well, there's assailant. What's your play here? Because um like what if you miss? It's gonna go right through and then through the wall. So like, what's behind that wall? Do you know what's behind that wall? Like there's
Mm.
a lot of
Know your
stuff like
target
that.
and beyond.
Exactly. What would you consider like say in a public situation? What would you consider yourself like cover like as far as like where
What would
would you if you were hiding from somebody?
hiding? I guess it kind of depends on your location, where you're at, but
Brick wall, would that work?
brick, yeah, brick, solid concrete.
Filing
Maybe
cabinet that's full would work.
exterior walls potentially, but filing cabinets is a maybe because again, how much paper is in it, which
Bookshelf.
angle? Yeah, because like if you shoot a filing cabinet like crosswise versus or like one plane versus the other axis, like dead on, like the paper would stop it differently, right?
That's
So
true. Depends if it's sideways or
yeah,
not.
filing cabinet is not necessarily like a guaranteed either. In fact, I would say it's not the most reliable cover because it's just thin sheet metal,
My
kind of like a
mom
car. It would go through it.
my mom wants to buy an armor plate for one of the walls. Just like put
It's
it like
literally like
inside there.
AR-500 inside of the wall.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, you could do it.
This is a very very good topic though. It is kind of interesting. A lot of Hollywood really gets that really wrong. Oh, it's just like
They get a
define this like
ton of
thing.
stuff wrong. Yeah, with firearms, most of it actually. I would say most things you see in
You,
movies pertaining to guns are wrong.
what is like your top 3 Hollywood myths that we haven't discussed yet? Like, would you say?
Well, the cover was a good one.
Yeah.
Obviously, silencers are like probably number one, but like unlimited ammo,
Oh,
like just
yeah.
freaking never reloading ever. Like,
Oh, that was what was so cool about John Wick though, was like the full length reloads like on John.
yeah, they actually show the reloads.
It's the
Now,
only movie that does that. Like,
yeah, he does some other stuff that you're like, that's still not necessarily a good idea. But like the John Wick flick,
yeah,
you know what
obviously.
I'm talking about the whole like he flicks the gun. It's so unnecessary. Like it's added motion. It's you don't need to do that. It's
Just
like
for flair.
style points.
Well, can you do that?
Yep.
You mean like flicking out the mag, like with the?
Yeah. So when you drop the mag, like you kick the gun to the side.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna like this is like will launch if I do it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to like shoot
The
this thing across
5.7.
the room,
The
but
5.7 is very springy like that. I
yeah.
think.
Like that. Like
Yeah.
I literally just ejected it into like the next county if you do that. That's the John Wick flick. Like as you're pressing the button, you spin the gun to the right
Uh-huh.
and it just shoots the magazine out the bottom. But you know what? Magazines work under gravity pretty well. They just drop out. So like you don't really need to do that.
I think
it's extra motion that's unnecessary.
so. So as far as I know, so this is just from what I know from the classes I've taken, that the actual moving it to the side thing is a precaution over tripping over your own mags.
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
But you can just like angle it, like you just turn the gun to the side. You don't need to do like the super exaggerated like flip throw thing that John Wick does.
The one that they teach
You can if you
for
want.
the usual situation is like you actually are supposed to actually grab it with your hand and then throw it behind you, like not like
Yeah.
in an exaggerated motion, but just like a sweep as you're like, so you're like kind of letting go as you're grabbing the next
Mhm.
mag. But I guess the problem with that is that you don't have another mag in your hand already.
Yeah, you could be faster if you're just dropping
Yeah, if
it.
you're just dropping it straight down. Yeah, I guess you could kick it, but I don't know. Like, interesting. That's one thing I think is really interesting about guns in general is there's so many trade-offs, right? Like you have something that's like kind of irritating about a gun, but it serves a purpose that like buffs it in a different way, you know? Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, some guns just have like really weird quirks about their designs, uh,
Mhm.
but it's all for a reason. Like, I don't like the charging handle, particularly on the TP9 here. It's like an AR-15, it's the little T charging
I
handle at the
don't
back
like
here.
those at
I don't really
all.
like it either, but it's like the gun's so small. Where else would you put a charging handle on this thing? Like, there's
Mhm.
not really a good spot for it. So, that's one of the things. Also, people like to complain about this, like when you can't drop the bolt on an empty magazine. Certain guns are designed and like not let you do that. It's basically telling like, hey, you're out of ammo. You can't like reload. But
Mhm.
some people really don't like that. They want to be able to just drop the bolt. Of this, you have to drop your magazine out a little bit, and then you can drop the bolt.
Mhm.
But that's a quirk of some gun designs. 1911s will kind of do that too,
Mhm. Mhm.
where you can't just release the slide on an empty mag.
Question from Skag the Prince: can you have a double-sided clip for a double-sided click? Oh,
Like,
that's another thing actually. Clips versus magazines. A lot of people call them clips.
oh, yep. Which I don't get too uppity about that. I know it's like,
Mhm.
oh, it's a magazine,
Yeah, that's true. That's
that's
true.
it's a little
But they're
pretentious. If people call it a clip, whatever.
they're
But
all
they are
are clips though.
technically
They're
different.
clip is an actual thing too, right? That's used
Well,
for older guns, right?
yeah, a clip is a metal piece that holds the cartridges that goes into the magazine. The magazine
Hunt
is the
Showdown.
device that actually feeds the rounds. Um, the clip just holds them to go into the mag. I have the end block clip here somewhere from.
You got to use the word stripper clip like a gentleman.
Yes, the stripper clip
The
from my Mosin
stripper
and
clip.
Nagant. It's extra sexy.
So it's let's see, what was the question? Is it, can you have a double-sided? Double-sided, like double stack?
Um, magazines. I think maybe they mean like, can you put like one here and like another one
Upside down?
reverse facing upside
Depends
down?
on the
Yeah,
gun then, right?
yeah. Some guns can do that, where you can like link two mags together, or like the G36, you can stack mags side by side. They have like
Uh-huh.
little locking tabs on them. The SIGs do that as well.
I like
Um,
the little one on the CZ auto, you know what I mean? The little like
oh,
it's
the
in
little
the
vertical like you like flip it upside down
it's
and
like
it
a
becomes a vertical grip on
yeah,
the
and then you like just like you can just
you
reload
like
it like
take it
off of
off
that.
and
Yeah.
flip it around. Yeah.
That's really
That's
cute.
a very unusual
I know,
one.
it's
It's
like
like
the
one of the
only
only
one I
guns that does
know
that.
that does that. What is the most valuable weapon you've ever owned, GachaGuns? I don't know if you want to answer that.
Most expensive gun I have currently is a Sig 550,
Oh.
which it's here. I can grab it.
Do you have like one of those freaking movie gun bunkers? It's like it's got like
I mean,
the LED lights in the wall and stuff.
that's the goal. That's the end
That's the
goal.
goal.
Um, I have the gun room. I just don't have the like wall and the lights and all that
Are
set
you gonna
up.
go like
So
full like Colleen Noir on us? Like just
yeah, I'm gonna have like a gun room for sure. So and it'll be in the stream eventually. Like I'll get a gun wall
oh
cam
my
or
god,
something.
that's
Like
so
you switch
cool.
to it.
His
But yeah,
his stuff looks so cool. Like when he's got like all that.
this is the Sig 550, the PE90, which is a
Ah,
Swiss military rifle. They're quite rare in the U.S. and
it
just
looks
super
really cool.
expensive. And they have those magazines I was talking about that you can lock them together. They have these little tabs
Oh, is that what
on the
that's
side.
for? That's
Yeah, these
also
little
on
tabs.
a. Doesn't the G36 have that
Yep.
too?
G36
Ah,
copied it from the. So, well, it's about the same era, so they might have shared the information
I
between the
was
companies.
wondering
But
what those were for.
yeah, you can stack your mags together like jungle mags, but
Oh.
you don't need to use tape.
Actually, I have a personal question. Um,
Sure.
what do you have anything like Cerakoted?
I have one gun that's Cerakoted. It came from the factory like that.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Is it worth
it's my
it?
Semi LC. It's just a green paint. It's not like a special camo pattern or
Mm-hmm.
anything. My experience is it's not that durable. Like Cerakote is slightly more durable paint. You can scratch it, it'll wear off. So
Mhm.
just keep that in mind. It's not like the gun companies will make you believe it's like impervious. Like
Yeah,
a holster won't wear this off. No, it totally will.
I
It'll scratch
see.
right off with
So
much use.
it's all like kind of like it's kind of all bullshit basically.
Yeah, it's marketing
Mm-hmm.
mostly.
Let's see. Any other questions? Uh, you can't ask a man if he's Cerakoted. Thoughts on bullpups?
I love
talk.
bullpups. I've got
Yeah,
a bunch of them.
I like
Like
them. Yeah.
more than most sane people would have probably.
Oh, I want that new You see that new
Hellion.
Springfield? Yeah, that's the one. The
Yeah, I've got
Hellion.
it.
You have
I
it?
got it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. You did get it. Oh man, GachaGuns has all the shit I want. Look at that. When I move. Oh my god. I want. Oh, it looks so cool. I want it.
Oh, models freaking out.
That looks so cool. How is
Yeah.
it? How has it been in your experience?
It's a good rifle. Like I like it, but I like the X95 better in pretty much every way.
That's the one I was thinking
So,
about getting was the X95.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the X95 is a better gun than the VHS. Like this is a very good gun. But
What's the
it's
problems?
talking about weird quirks. It's got a bunch of them. The length of pole is super long. So if we like line up, you can kind of see this here. Let me turn my model off so you can see.
Mhm.
See how like where the ejection port is on this
Yeah.
versus like right here.
Mhm.
So that's the length of pole of the stock. And so you can't make this any shorter than this. This is a shorter setup. So it has a very long feel. If you don't have super long arms, the VHS feels
I see what
like
you
it's
mean.
a really long gun. Like my this is my arm fully extended to grab this. Like my elbow is totally locked.
It's chunky on the back, basically.
Yeah. It's just a long feeling gun. The
Yo, I love your
really
patch
weird.
there. I love your little patch there in the bottom right corner.
This one?
That's such a good one. I don't have that one. That's a good one.
So yeah, it's just got a lot of weird quirks. The safety is super awkward on it. It's hard to reach with your thumb. Yeah, just ergonomic problems. Like they're all overcome. You know, you can overcome them. It's not the end of the world.
It looks cool though. Like I
does.
don't know. There's something about it.
FAMAS and a G36. Like,
oh, it looks so good.
Banged.
Their bastard child.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So
funny.
It's a very cool gun. I'm glad it's in the U.S. because it's just started coming in this year. But I needed it for the collection.
Do you happen to know like the whole deal with like Springfield? Because like they're like, this is a Springfield gun, like Springfield Marco, but it's actually not.
Seen a lot of read requests too, so maybe we need to check the redeems.
Okay, all right. Let me check them. I'm gonna have to figure out how to put them up because I actually don't have a setup for that on this screen. I guess I could drag it in.
Can I can't check the redeems. No.
Let me give me a second. You know why? It's Oh, they're asking lore questions using the redeems.
Oh, is that
they're
what
asking you
lore
questions. Okay. All right, here.
Oh, I see. Okay, let's
go. Let's ask the first one first. Advice for people that want to get guns into 2020. Like you don't know anything about guns. You want to get into it.
Go take a class. Go take a safety class. Doesn't matter where. I mean, just do something. Go take a class. Learn the basics. Get your hands on some firearms. They'll show you how to handle everything safely and all that. Or if you have a good friend or family member that's very knowledgeable about it, ask them to take you out to the range and show you, give you all the tips and stuff. So. Or do both. Honestly, take a class, and if you have somebody that can help you out, that's really best of both worlds. After you're comfortable with that, go buy a gun. And
the interesting thing too is that like normally like when you take those classes, they usually have a bunch that you get to try out, right? So it's kind of nice there too. You can kind of see what you
want.
want.
Let you try a bunch of different stuff.
I shot like 8 different handguns on the first time I went. how about gun? Like, what would you recommend somebody get if they're, it's like their first one? I guess it would depend on the purpose,
Depends on the purpose.
right?
Everybody likes to go handgun first because they're like, oh,
Cheaper.
concealed carry or whatever, maybe cheaper. I don't necessarily think it's always the best route. You can, again, it depends on what you're buying the gun for, but just we talked about this earlier, handguns are the hardest. That's like you're starting on hard mode with a handgun, so I think you can learn a lot of the fundamentals of shooting firearms with a rifle first, and then that will translate better to a handgun when you move to one. So I would say a rifle, actually.
Yeah, like when you first try, you're gonna be surprised at how fucking hard it is to hit like a target.
How
Like,
bad you are
yeah,
at
you're gonna realize how
aiming.
bad you are with it. You want to know what's silly though, GachaGuns? Is I know a lot of people, and this is a little bit controversial, that like, oh, like, you think you know a lot of, you thought you learned a lot because you played like airsoft, but I actually think I did, which is kind of weird. Like
Definitely.
when I went from airsoft to actually like owning like actual guns and going to the range and stuff and taking it helped a lot in tactical classes, because like my instructor, I remember like they're like, we had an exercise where we had to like walk up to a wall and we had to like shoot from the concealment so a bunch of targets. He had a bunch of targets like set up on the range at like different angles, and then we had to like peek from the wall. And like most people, when I mean, I'm sure you've seen this, when most people peek a wall, they peek wide, like they just like step out and then they
They step out. They don't lean. Like you keep your feet planted and you like lean around it.
Yeah, you like basically poke your little head out. So it's just you're
expose the least amount of view as
you're
possible.
you're literally doing that. You're like shooting like bop. Because and my instructor was like, "What? Why are you doing that? Like that's that's correct, but why?" I was just like, "I play airsoft and I don't like getting shot."
Yeah. The corner shot.
The corners, yeah.
The corner shot's a device that's got a little camera on it. It like literally swivels around a corner.
Wait,
so
there's a thing like that?
Corners. Yeah. It's for like anti-terrorist stuff. They can like shoot around a corner with a camera.
Oh,
you put a Glock in this, and it like literally has a little camera that you look at the screen and aim with.
Okay, do you want to know my number one airsoft tool that nobody else uses? I'm like one of the only people that I know that uses this. I carry no, no. I carry a stick with a mirror on it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So when I go airsoft, I have a little stick that has like it's got it's a stick with a mirror at an angle that has a little spring on one end that can tilt it, but remotely. I can tilt it like from the top of the handle, so I can like look around the corner and I could just like kind of like, okay, there's people there, okay, like I know where to shoot. Like
that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone else do it except me. Can we get an RR from GachaGuns?
Oh no. It's a thing on my channel. People kept pestering me for like an RR redeem, so I was like, fine, here you go.
All right, let's see your best RR.
RR. There you go.
Oh my god, everyone is using the redeem now to ask questions. That's not what the redeem is for. All right, do you have a Mossberg shockwave? Is it meme or practical?
I have a shockwave with a stock on it. So I have an SPS. It's literally the same gun if you put a stock.
So why is it meme?
The shockwave has no stock. It's just like a pistol grip. So imagine a pistol gripped 12 gauge shotgun with a 14-inch barrel.
It's kind of like what? Oh, it's like flat on the back.
Yeah, it's like a bird's head grip, they call it. So it's just kind of a like, again, if you had like a traditional shotgun grip and you just chop the stock off the back of it, so it's slightly curved.
Oh,
but like
so it's kind of like those shorties in Hunt Showdown, like the short
probably
short,
yeah,
like the short Winchester, like the little lever gun, but it's like they cut the back of it off, so you're kind of grabbing around it like it's a sword or something.
I'm not going to say that they're not completely useless. They're not like totally useless, but anything with a stock is better. Like I would take a slightly longer gun with a stock over a shorter gun like that with no stock, I think.
Let me just make a redeem. Let me make a redeem. This makes it way easier. All right, I'll make one real quick. I'll make a free one because I don't want it to be only people with points that get to ask. What the fuck? Why is there a cat here? Why are you listening to the stream on a phone? What's wrong with you, mommy? Uh, yeah, because I don't want it to be only people with points that get to ask. I don't think that's fair. Let me.
I think Crazy said something about redeeming the points, but I guess I don't know.
Oh, you're refunding them. Yeah, but it's gonna run out. Is there? I don't
Uh,
think there's unlimited. Well, and the thing is even if you refund it, people that don't have 1,000 points can't ask, so it's pointless. Add new customer rewards. Ask guest a question. I'll make it 1 point because you have enough from redeeming. Redemption. Redemption cooldown limits per user to 1. There we go. Now everyone can only ask 1. 1 point. Require enter text. Ask your question. All right, the redeem's up. That's fair. That's fair. See, we're fair on this stream. We're very fair. All right. All right. So you got that one. Question from Julio. How true is it that you can go to a random gun show and buy a gun with no papers or certification? This seems interesting, actually.
That's the gun show loophole, as the media loves to call it. So technically, it depends on the state. Again, this is all state dependent. But if you're in a U.S. state that allows private party sales, meaning like say Leaflit, we were both in the same residence of the same state, and you wanted to buy a gun for me, you just say, "Hey, gotcha, I want to buy that gun." I hand you the gun, you hand me the money, we're done. Like that's the transaction. Technically, I should ask you, are you a convicted felon? Are you legally allowed to own a gun? You're supposed to ask those things. Those are required. But like there doesn't have to be a bill of sale. There doesn't have to be any 4473. There doesn't have to be any paperwork. So yes, you can technically walk into a gun show, and if somebody is there that is a state resident and you are a state resident and you want to buy the gun, they can just sell it to you and hand it to you. Now, if they are a dealer at a gun show, they still have to do paperwork.
So if you have the license, the FFL, basically,
if you're a gun retailer that happens to go to a gun show, which is honestly mostly what are at gun shows, they still have to do all the same paperwork like you were at their store. So they don't get out of that just because they're at a gun show. So that's kind of part of the misconception there. But yes, private party sales, it's just like if you were buying anything else, piece of furniture or something like that. You hand me money, I hand you gun. I ask questions. If you answer them honestly or not, I asked you the questions. So that's really all you have to do. I would write a bill of sale personally, just to cover my ass. Say, yes, I checked this person's ID. Here's their driver's license number, and I sold it to them on this date, and you both sign it. That kind of thing. But you don't technically have to do that. But again, if it ever came back to you, you say, hey, I did what I was supposed to. Honestly, I don't sell guns that way. I just take it to a gun store and let them sell it for me.
That's how a lot of people do it.
It's the easy option. I don't have to worry about it. The gun store takes care of it. They do the paperwork. They just give me a check. So
I think I think from, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but like kind of from both sides of that argument, one is that that is kind of a little bit, the fact that you can just like, hey, well, you selling me that? Yeah, okay. And then like nobody knows about it. Like that's one part of the argument. The other side is how do you enforce it, right? That's the problem. Is if you are making it so that people have to check the people have to tell other people if they sell something like that, then it turns into the registration, right? Because then you have to like you'll have information on like who has what, and that goes into the whole thing. And that's the argument on both sides.
And then it makes things like passing of guns between family members really weird and awkward too. Like you can't give a family member a gift, or if somebody passed away, you'd have to do background checks to pick up all their guns.
How do you do that? How do you do that if somebody, if say a family member had a bunch of guns and then they passed? Like how does that work?
Whoever's whoever it's willed to gets possession of them, and
you just get them like straight up, like you
just get them. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you're in a different state or something, shipping them to your state, that's where things can get weird. But like if you're in the same state, you just take possession of them. End of story. Done.
Oh, I see. All right, let's see. Another question from Crazy. John Browning was a golden god of gun design. Confirm or deny?
Yeah, John Browning is the the god of gun design. I mean, he designed everything basically. The 1911, the lever action rifle. Well, he perfected lever action. I guess he didn't technically invent it, but the pump action shotgun, as we think of it, the BAR, the automatic rifle from World War One, the 1919, the Browning M2 50 caliber machine gun. I mean, the list goes on. Like he is basically responsible for modern firearms in a nutshell.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that one.
The high power, another gun. Yep.
Okay, got a question from Peton. John Browning or Eugene Stoner?
John Browning. Eugene Stoner, again, I love his guns. The Stoner. The Stoner 63. I'm trying to grab a gun here. Caught. I was saying I wanted the Stoner 63. This is not a Stoner 63, but this is like the closest. This is the next best thing. This is the Robinson Armament M96. So you kind of get an idea what the Stoner 63 looks like. But as cool as the gun is, John Browning had a much larger impact on firearms and technology in general.
Question from Kurisu. Does GachaGuns have any Kel-Tecs?
I have the KSG. I've actually owned like 6 Kel-Tecs. I sold most of them to buy other things, but I did buy another KSG. So
are you gonna get that freaking 5.7 pistol?
The P50?
Yeah.
Hell no. That thing's so cursed.
The thing looks so crazy.
I mean, like it's neat that it's another gun and it takes PS90 mags or P90 mags, but it's like I have a PS90 SBR that kind of
it's so long
beats
though.
the Kel-Tec in like literally every way.
It looks like a freaking old Nintendo gun or something, right? It looks like,
and like the stock they came out with for it, it's so bad. It looks absolutely awful, like total afterthought.
Okay, I already did that one. What? I can't do that. Solar Digitalis. Ask like, guess like, what? What is this? Who is your GFL wife? What's GFL?
Girls Frontline.
Oh, Girls Frontline. Who's your GFL waifu?
So this is embarrassing. I don't play Girls Frontline.
I don't either.
I know. Everybody thinks like, gosh, you must love it because you love guns and like waifus and right. But I was actually afraid to play that game because I thought I'd like totally end up wailing on it, like just spending all my money.
There's gonna be like all your waifus, your literal waifus.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be responsible to not play this game.
That's fucking smart. That is fucking smart. You did not fuck up with that. Let's see, any other questions? A question from Tsunami. Do you own any weapons that you consider cursed?
Cursed? No. I mean, I've got several surplus guns, and you don't really know the history of those.
I mean, cursed as in design. I'm guessing.
Oh, like mega cursed.
Do you own any like meme guns, basically?
Yes, I have one called a Krintech.
Wait, it's literally called a Krintech?
Yeah, it's not a Kel-Tec, it's a Krintech.
It's like cringe tech, right?
Yeah, it's a cringe tech, basically. It's a 22 bullpup rifle. It's super, super weird. It's like one of the weirdest guns I've ever seen. Oh my god.
What is the weirdest gun that... what is the one gun that you think that is like the
worst?
It's the worst. It's like...
the zip gun.
The zip gun?
Yeah, it's called the zip gun. It like, if you look at a photo of this thing, it's so bad. It's
zip gun.
Yeah, it's like the Zip 22. It's one of the few guns where you like look at it and you're like, how are you supposed to hold this thing even?
Oh, is it the one it's got like a box or something?
Yeah, it's literally a square.
You know what this looks like? This looks like like in those movies where they have the gun that like comes out of their sleeves and then they can like that's what it looks like. It would be on like a sleeve device that like drops into your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, except for it's like too bulky to actually do that. But if it was thinner, maybe. Yeah, zip gun's super awkward and it doesn't work. Like
it is big. You're right.
Work.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
It's chunky. It's like wide.
Yeah, what the heck?
And you have to like stick your finger next to the barrel to charge it. The little like goofy thing sticking out the front next to the barrel, that's the charging handle.
Oh,
you literally have to put your finger right next to the muzzle to charge the gun. Like everything about the zip gun is
freaking banana clip too out the bottom.
Yeah, it takes Ruger 1022 magazines, wild. But like I said, they don't actually cycle or function. It's a total meme gun. And it bankrupted a company. Like a guy was making beautiful Colt single action army revolvers, like Wild West type guns. absolutely amazing quality. Suddenly showed up one day to his company. He's like, we're not making those anymore. We're making the zip gun. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And it literally bankrupted the company.
Oh my god.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
You know, it kind of reminds me. Have you ever seen like those cars that are just like, how did somebody make that car? Like, what the fuck? Right?
Hmm.
It's like oh god, like you know those ones that's like a giant box. Like what the? It's almost like that. Like someone was like, this is the future. Yeah, I mean, we make something like sci-fi looking, but it just
They
looks
thought it was
stupid.
genius, and it was not.
All right,
The
question.
best in the manual. Oh, real quick,
Oh,
real
go ahead, go
sorry,
ahead, go
side
ahead. No, no,
story.
no, no, go ahead. Mhm.
There's if you look at the Zip 22 owner's manual, there's a picture in the back that has a Zip 22 bolted to the bottom of a Scar 16 as a SBR option.
Wait, wait, wait.
So
What? It's bolted to the
yeah, it's like screwed onto the bottom of the Scar handguard rail. Like
zip,
so,
zip gun scar. Dude, has anyone actually done it?
I don't know, but it's in the owner's manual, so the company did it. It's so cursed because here you're taking this super expensive FN gun and you're literally putting this piece of crap garbage gun on the bottom of it. And the worst part is it'd be an SBR, so you'd have to pay $200 and do all that paperwork I was talking about to
Oh
even
my god.
do that.
Wait, wait.
So
Is
like
this?
imagine
Is this? What is this? Wait. I'm gonna send this to you. What is this? Like, what is that?
oh, that's the survival zip.
What is that?
Yeah. The survival zip. That was a product that never came to the market. It was a survival stock for the zip gun.
Here, I'm gonna
The
put it on
ironic
stream.
part, yeah, the ironic part is you store it backwards with the muzzle pointing into your shoulder. If the gun
Like
flips
what?
around 180 degrees.
What is this, man? Like,
Yeah, so so that's the user configuration. The storage position is, imagine you take that gun off the bottom part there, turn it 180 degrees and point the muzzle into the stock. So like if you were to shoulder it, you would literally be pointing the gun at your
so
own
it's
shoulder.
it's like a bad FMG basically. It's like you took that but just made it like absolutely worse in every way possible.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's
Oh
called the
my god.
survival zip. There was the
What
battle
the
zip
hell?
too. Another awful product. If you want a good laugh, go read the Zip 22 manual sometime.
That sounds hilarious.
It's cursed.
All right, a question from American Bison. What is your take on the Lebel? 1886 Lebel.
The label.
Yeah.
So, and of course it's pronunciation on
Lebel.
French words. Who knows? Lebel.
Lebel. Lebel.
It's a cool gun, but it's plagued by it uses a rimmed cartridge.
Oh yeah,
from the era.
Yeah.
So what you deal with, like, it stacks rounds really weird in its tubular magazine. So there's a reason they got rid of that rim section on the outside of rifle cartridges, because they don't stack well.
It's like a 22, right? It's just kind of like whack when you
Yeah,
like,
it's like a
when
22.
you...
They don't sit right.
Mhm,
Same with
yeah.
the Mosin. It's got a rimmed cartridge. The Lee Enfield or SMLE British 303 guns, same thing. All the guns, the contemporary rifles from that area have it, because that was kind of the thought process at the time, because revolver rounds and a lot of other or Old West gun rounds have rims because they're easier to extract, and just that was the bullet technology at the time. So smokeless powder comes out, and then they develop rifle round Spitzer cartridges, but they still kept the rim because that's what they knew, and it makes the guns have all these really weird quirks and designs. And so the Lebel,
Also, you can't dry fire those.
I don't remember on the Lebel if you can or not. I've never owned one.
I thought you can't dry fire any rim fire. I thought those.
Well, it's not a rim. Well, let me be clear. It's not a rim fire gun. It's a it's a cartridge that has a rim on it, but it's center fire.
Why then?
Exactly. It was like this weird transition period where they hadn't figured out that you didn't need to put a rim on the cartridge like that. Like they hadn't put that. It's easy to look back and say, like, why didn't they do that? Like, well, no one thought to do it until like years later.
It's possible that just all the places that made ammo just kind of had that shape already, so they're just kind of like,
yeah, they were already making it, they were already using it. So, but that's why it has to have a tube magazine underneath the barrel versus like a box magazine that it feeds from. And it just, like I said, it's cool. It's a cool early modern repeating bolt action rifle for sure. I would love to have one, but it's not like the best gun.
Ooh, this is a hot question.
Ooh.
AK versus AR.
AR. Easy.
We have it.
Yeah.
I'm on team AR as well.
And I have lots of AKs, by the way. It's like I have just as many AKs as I do ARs. But you're like, gotcha, you can only pick one on the AR. The ergonomics are just better. Ergonomics on ARs is just better. Safety placement. The reloads are faster,
The
smoother.
one thing I don't like the charging handle.
Yeah, charging handle
I
has
hate
always
that.
been the worst part of the AR-15, and that's why this new SIG M5 rifle, I think it's silly. They put a side charging handle on the left side of the receiver, kind of like an FAL, but they kept the little T charging handle at the back. Like, get
I
rid of
hate
that.
that.
Like, you
I hate it.
don't need it. But they're like, it needs to operate the same as the M4 or whatever. Like,
I
get rid of it.
kind of like the ones that like fold in and then you like kind of pull it off the side to like pull it out. I don't know.
I mean, like well, I can't. I'm literally holding too many guns here.
You just why can't I hold all these guns?
I can't. Oh geez, I have like a gun in my lap. I'm like holding this one, but yeah, like the G36 or the VHS, it kind of swings out.
Yeah, I like that.
You charge it and then springs back.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. All right. Question from Cybran. I mean, we got. Oh my god, there's so many. I don't think we can answer all of these, guys. There's too many. Question from Cybran. Gacha, please explain why the Desert Eagle in 50 AE is very well designed and practical firearm, and everyone should have at least one.
No to all accounts of that. It's like the most impractical gun you can. Well, the zip gun's more impractical, but the Desert Eagle is not a good gun. Like it is. I feel like the ultimate meme gun, in that if you've ever shot one or handled one, you're like, no one in their right mind would ever carry or use this. It is way too heavy, super bulky, low round capacity, ammunition's expensive. It's unreliable. Even though they pretty much all have feeding problems or ejection problems of some kind. It's just not a good gun. It's super iconic, but it's not good.
It's like you don't really. So the blah, 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 blah. The screen there doesn't really do it justice. Like you don't understand how big this thing is.
No,
like,
it's huge.
It's massive.
It's so freaking big, like compared to.
I mean, you can see like GachaGuns' hand there on
the size of the P90. It's like over half the length of the gun. It is huge.
I remember finding a holster for one, and oh my god, it just like hangs out the bottom of it, right?
Yeah, it's almost 5 pounds of metal, like just solid steel.
It's massive. It does feel good though in your hand. I don't know. There's something about it. It feels really nice.
Again, it's cool. Like if you want one, buy one. Just don't think it's gonna be like a good gun.
You can't use it for like anything, basically.
No, it's a range toy. It's a total. So it's like, hey, check this out. I got a Desert Eagle. Like that's the point of the Desert Eagle.
Yeah. It's the big dick gun, basically. All right, question from DigiNeco Dan. Have you ever tried an auto revolver like a Mateba 6? Thoughts if you have. You might recognize it if you watched Ghost in the Shell.
Mateba Se Unica is a very sexy revolver. It's a underbarrel revolver where so on a revolver, typically the barrel's at the top. The Matebas and like the Rhino, Chiappa Rhino is another gun you're probably familiar with. It's got the barrel at the bottom, so it puts the recoil in line with your hand. So it's supposed to have less muzzle flip. But the Mateba is cool because it's semi-automatic. It has little rails, and the entire upper slide assembly of the revolver cycles like a regular semi-auto handgun, and it's self-cocking. So after you fire the first round, all shots afterwards are single action. Normal revolver, it's double action, long trigger pull for each pull because it's cocking the hammer and turning the cylinder and all that. But on a Mateba, literally every shot is short, light, single action because the gun under recoil cocks itself. It's one of the only semi-automatic revolvers.
It's kind of like a P2000 sort of.
No, because the P2000. I mean, it would be like the same like that the slide cycles on a P2000.
Yeah.
But not. Again, think of a revolver, a semi-automatic revolver. Yeah, the Webley Fosbury is the other gun.
How do you feel about revolvers, by the way? Do you think those are a good defense choice, or what's your...
I'm not a fan. I used to have several revolvers, and I've sold them all. I still have a Nagant revolver, just because it was cheap for my collection. But they don't fit my hand well, and I don't like the double action trigger pull all that much. And
It's
I've shot Colt
freaking
Pythons
heavy,
and
man. Like the.
expensive guns, which are nice, but they're just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get a couple more eventually. I want a Mateba. I want one of those because they're super interesting. They're also incredibly expensive because they haven't made them in a long time.
Let's see. All right. Question from Spartan. What is your take on Girls Frontline, where the guns are turned into waifus?
I
Well,
mean, I
also,
think it's oh, go. There's
look,
more. I mean,
I'm
so
sorry.
it's a cool concept. Like, I think it's interesting, and that's why it made me nervous, and I didn't play it because I was like, I'm gonna spend too much money on this.
Yeah. How about the same question also asks, what do you think about G11?
HKG11, the space gun. It's really cool. The whole caseless ammunition idea. And it kind of reminds me a lot of ways of like the P90, PS90, that 80s, early 90s
Space gun.
space sci-fi look. It's got weird side. It holds 3 magazines in the front of the gun, and you like lock them in. It totally looks like a pulse rifle or some type of space blaster. It's very, very fascinating gun, but it had lots of problems, so there's a reason it wasn't adopted or went into major production. So it's cool.
Let's see. Could you do like 5 more questions?
I can do as many as we want. I don't care.
All right, let's see how many there are left. One. Okay, you could probably get through these if we go. Let's see. Very out of the question, but any thoughts on Type 95? Any jealousy to Canucks having all the Norinkos?
Norinkos are Chinese-made guns, which we can't get in the United States because of the 90s. Well, they did some kind of sketch things back then, and the U.S. government basically banned importation of Norinco rifles to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the Chinese military bullpup that you can get in Canada that you can't get here. I would love to have one. Everyone says they're garbage, like that they're not good guns, but I don't care. I still want one because I like bullpup rifles, obviously, and I want to collect them all. But that's one I'll probably never have because they're just not available here.
All right, let's see. Oh, this is actually an interesting one. We did talk a little bit about this, but your question from Silver Digitalis: what is the difference between a rimfire and a centerfire?
So rimfire is how they do the priming compound. So if you think of a bullet, a cartridge, it's got that little piece at the back of it, where it's got that hole in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That is the primer. That's what it turns mechanical energy into, a thermic, like fire reaction, explosion, whatever you want to call it, in the
chemical,
cartridge.
I guess would be the
chemical reaction. So basically, the firing pin impacting that, physically hitting it, ignites the primer and then burns the gunpowder inside. So this is center fire, where it's got a little center piece that does that, the primer at the back. Rim fire is where it's basically a priming compound that's coated on the inside of the brass cartridge case, and it's all around the rim. Mm-hmm. So basically, the hammer firing pin strikes the outside of the rim versus the center, and to ignite it. It's the same concept, just kind of a different execution. Rimfire is really only used in 22 long rifle now, because it's kind of an unreliable system. You have a lot more chance of having like dud rounds or it not going off. Centerfire is much more repeatable, reliable, so that's why it's used in all modern firearms besides 22 long rifle, which is kind of a holdover.
22 is very cheap, though.
Yes, it is economical, cheap to make.
Question from Kill King: what's the most expensive optic that you have?
Ooh, so people who watch my stream know that I'm like notorious for not buying optics for my guns. Like, I just have all sorts of cool guns with no scopes or red dots on them.
I like irons. I don't know why. I just do.
I like them too, but like I should focus more on buying some nice gun scopes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I should put my gun on.
Currently, probably it's on my 22 long rifle. My 22 rifle, I've got a SWFA Super Sniper scope, which is a first focal plane. I think 3 by 15 power. It's like a $700 or $800 scope. It's not that expensive. I
Man,
had a
scopes get
fancier one.
so expensive,
Yeah,
man.
I had a much nicer scope on a different gun, but I sold the gun and the scope, so
Just
don't
because of
have
the
any more.
precision that's needed, right, in a scope. That's why they're so
The
expensive.
glass.
It's
The
like
glass is
binoculars.
very
You ever bought like
expensive to make.
binoculars? It's like expensive as hell. Um, what is the largest, I guess, mass wise? What is the largest gun you have? Asks Zaxton the How.
I've got a Ithaca 37 pump action 12 gauge. It's like the longest gun they have because very, very long barrel. Like caliber wise, like the biggest gun, probably a Mosin actually. Mosin the gun.
They're very chunky.
They are 7.62 by 54R.
All right. Question from Sanzo. This is an interesting one. What is your gun maintenance routine? Regular firing of each gun, cleaning if at all? Just curious since you have a clean looking collection there.
So it depends on the gun. Like Glocks, I don't usually bother to clean them very often, every once in a while. Desert Eagle, it gets cleaned pretty much every time after I shoot it because I shoot it like once a year and it just goes back in the safe. So if the gun's not going to be fired for a long time or it's going to be sitting for an extended period, I make sure to clean it. Or if it's something rare and collectible, I also make sure to clean it. I don't let it just sit for a long time. But like ARs, other guns, AKs, you know, I don't worry too much about them. Clean them every maybe 3 to 5 times you take it to the range.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the gun. Also the ammo, right? Like the ammo you use. Some ammo is like really dirty and it'll like get like stuff jammed and stuff. Yeah, use like kind of cheap
Suppressed
stuff.
too. If you shoot silencers, they make the guns really filthy. So you actually do have to clean those more often. Like probably every other time you shoot them or every time you shoot a suppressed gun, you'll want to clean it.
Question from Kinetsumji. Ever shot an F class or PRS?
I have not. I don't do a lot of competitive shooting. I would like to. It sounds really fun, but I don't have a ton of it in my area.
I wanted to do 3-gun for a while.
3-gun's cool, except for it's kind of just like shoot real fast, real close. Like I think it would get old after a while. 2-gun I think sounds more interesting. They basically omit the shotgun and they make you do physical stuff like go drag something or move this and then take a
I
shot.
would get absolutely fucked from that.
Yeah, I probably would too. But like that's the point though, is it makes you get your heart rate like really up and like.
And then you got to deal with it. I see.
It's much harder. So I feel like if you're actually trying to train for like real, like applicable skills, that makes more sense.
Man,
but no one does that around here.
This happened the one time I went to a training class and the instructor just like we walked out into a dark, like a completely dark range, and then he just turned on like he had like a police light hanging from the ceiling. Like a full on, like he had ripped it off the top of a cop car, and he just turned it on and started playing like really loud music, like really fucking loud. And he's like, "Yeah, okay, like go hit those targets." And everyone was like, "What the fuck?" Like, it was like so like it was like so much. It was like it's crazy. Yeah, stress testing.
Important.
Let's see. You got a question from Polygons. Feelings on people purchasing guns in order to feelings on people purchasing guns in order to cut them up to make replica sci-fi props.
Oh god, yeah. Well, that's the thing with like parts kits too. So there'll be guns that are already chopped up because they can't be imported to the US, but you can get the parts. Like so they torched the receiver and barrel. You can get the rest of the pieces. And they're really cheap when they come in, but like after a few years they'll dry up and then they're like super rare and collectible. And you'll see like years later, like somebody that just took one of those and like built it into something. And you're like, that's worth so much money now if you hadn't done that, but you did. So I would always argue if you want to make prop guns, like use airsoft guns.
Yeah, I mean, airsoft.
I think that's the easier option in most cases.
You can buy, here's the fun thing. What you could do is if you wanted to kind of make like cosplay guns, you can just buy Boneyard airsoft guns. They sell that all the time. It's just ones that have broken gearboxes and shit. You can get them for pretty cheap.
Yeah, they're pretty good host for some of that stuff.
Question from Fartbag. When do you plan to get a Resident Evil weapon merchant VTuber?
Wait, what? What are you
Um,
buying?
w-
What are you selling?
would you get a Resident Evil gun if they had one, like the freaking
Uh, you can
Samurai
you can
Edge?
clone Resident Evil again.
Yeah.
No, you can literally buy Samurai Edge.
Yep.
You have to make it yourself, but there are custom modders out there that you can like send the
Oh,
slide
really?
to, and they'll engrave stars on the side of it. The stars, Raccoon City Police, all
Dude,
that stuff. They'll do all the right markings. There was one on Gunbroker a month or two ago. I
dude,
think
I
it was like
kind of
two
want it.
two grand.
I kind of
It's like
want that.
yeah, it was like 2 or 3 grand probably get you one. Um, but yeah, it looks just like the gun from Resident Evil.
I
Like
kind of want
the
that.
people want them enough that there's enough custom gunsmiths out there making the parts to do it. So it is a build that's obtainable, not cheap, but
Question from Erskine Armory. Do you agree that the entire Caltech R&D team is a mixture of meth and cocaine?
there's a high likelihood that it could be. They do some weird stuff. What the thing with Caltech that drives me nuts is like they have really cool ideas, but they like don't finish them. They're like they like got halfway done with it, and they're like, yeah, it's good enough. Make it, sell it, we're done.
Like it's like
Like
they feel incomplete.
Yeah, the KSG is like one of the few exceptions where it's like fairly complete. Like, but they could still improve it, right? Like that whole like
Mm-hmm.
throw switch at the back. Like they've never since it came out, they've made zero improvements. There's no Gen 2 KSG, and it's kind of like, why not? There's definitely improvements you could make, and I would say that for all Caltech guns.
It's almost like
Um,
they're like those indie Steam developers that just make like make a game
yeah,
in early access and then they just stop and make another
and
one.
then, yeah, move on. They just they get it like almost part of the way there, good enough. On to the next thing.
Yep.
There, and that's Caltech in a nutshell.
Phase Daniel asks, I'm quite impressed with your collection of guns, but I wonder how to ensure that the guns meet the safety requirements before usage for like all of them.
Safety requirements before usage.
I,
You mean
I,
like that I cleared them for the stream?
how do you
Or
ensure that before usage? I guess to how you I don't know. It seems like a question about maintaining. I don't know. That's kind of I don't understand.
I mean, again, I look through them periodically. I handle all these guns pretty regularly, especially for stream. So if I notice something, I'll take it apart, I'll oil it, I'll clean it. I keep them in a low humidity environment, so dehumidifier. Make sure you don't get rust on your guns or anything like that.
Yeah,
And like,
I
yeah,
don't think you really have to
premise-
worry too much about guns unless you're not in a good environment for guns, right? Like
Mhm.
they don't
Yeah, I
really
don't have
break or anything. Like
no. As long as you keep the humidity low, you're pretty much golden for most of it.
mhm.
Wipe them down after you handle them. And
Yeah.
safety, I always again check the action and all that stuff anytime you pick up a gun. So very
What
safety conscious.
what brand of cleaning products do you recommend?
And they're all kind of the same. Pick whichever one you like. There's I don't think there's one that's like superior over the
Yeah.
others. I use Ballistol a lot
Oh,
because
that's what I use.
yeah, it's non-toxic. It smells awful. But it's like it washes easily off your skin and it probably doesn't give you cancer like most of the other ones. So,
That's always a
um,
plus.
that's a plus. So that's usually what I use for most of my just regular cleaning. It's not the greatest lubricant, but it's good for cleaning stuff.
Question from Peton: do you have the Logo Alien? Do you plan to get one?
Largo Alien, super cool gun, incredibly expensive. They're about $5,000 handgun.
Logo
So
Alien.
yeah, they're supposed to be coming out with a cheaper version that's going to be I think around $2,500, about half the price. I don't know.
Why is it so
That'd be
expensive?
still tough. They're kind of like custom race like competition guns.
Yeah, it
They're
kind of looked
tuned
like
and
it.
everything. They're incredibly flat shooting though. It's like got this whole delaying mechanism in the fixed barrel with a slide that reciprocates. It's a fascinating design. It just came out a couple years ago, but it's still very much like elitist gun. They're not there's no like common version available.
Question from Honor: do you have a 500 Magnum? If not,
Firearm
would
Smith&
you
Wesson?
acquire one someday?
I don't like revolvers that much, so probably not. And that's like the biggest bore production revolver you can get is a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum.
Mm-hmm.
I've handled one. Again, my small, tiny hands, they look comically large. So like it's like an awkward gun for me to even like hold and use. I bet I could fire one, but the recoil on those things actually hurts too. Like it literally stings your hand.
Ow,
So
that's not
it's
fun.
not really a fun gun to shoot. So it's kind of, again, it's one of those like, yeah, I've got a 500 Smith and Wesson, Smith and Wesson, bro. Like check it
It's
out
a
if you
big
want to
dick
shoot
gun,
it.
basically.
Yeah, it's big dick gun for sure.
You shoot it like
But they're
once, and you're like, I'm good. I'm all right. You know,
yeah,
like I'm good.
pretty much. So again, it's cool. It's cool it exists, but it's not really high on my purchase list.
Yeah. Uh, question from Tazuto. This isn't a law stream, so I don't know about this one.
Yeah,
Tazuto,
no
I'm gonna
legal
refund
advice
that.
to be given. I am not a lawyer. I do not give legal advice.
It was about
Disclaimer.
specific like state law, which we don't really know that much about. We know like our own states, right? But like I don't really know like.
Yeah.
Question from Kohir. What do you think about modular weapon systems?
I think they're super cool. That's why I like the Stoner so much. There's like 6 different configurations of this thing that you can put it into. Quick changing barrels and receivers interchange. So modular guns are really neat when done right. But if you do it wrong, like the Bushmaster ACR, and then you never actually offer the parts to make it modular, then that's not so cool.
Mm-hmm. Question from Pensili Tommies. Can you please say uwu? What the fuck?
Uwu.
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 Privacy Invader asks, know what a force reset trigger is?
Yes, I do know what a force reset trigger
What
is.
is
I've
that?
never tried one. Basically, it's got like like a spring-assisted opening knife.
Yes.
Like like you press the button and then it springs the blade the rest of the way. Think of that in a trigger. Like so, you pull the trigger and then it basically helps you force reset it into the next position, so you can pull it super super fast.
Oh, I see.
There's talk that they're going to be regulated as machine guns, kind of like what happened to bump stocks.
Bump stocks,
So
yeah.
it's kind of it's a whole thing right now.
It's kind of the same thing, right? Couldn't you like put a force
Well,
reset trigger against your? Actually,
it's a similar idea in a way, but it operates differently. So.
Question from Libby Airspinner. How heavy is the modding potential of airsoft? Can you make a gun fist? You can do a lot of stuff in airsoft you couldn't do with real guns. I'll just say. Yeah.
I've seen some super. I mean, there's the super cursed P90 builds that have AR-15 mags in the back.
Yeah, I've seen
those. They jam an AR-15 mag in here. Oh, I hate it.
They come out the top. Some of them come out the top.
Yeah.
There's like they jam them in the top. There's like a little like reverse like AR-15 mag thing at the top of like top right of it, and then you jam it in the top, and then it goes in through the, because they're BBs, right? So they would go through the BBs coming through the top. But yeah, that's how people do it. The thing about airsoft is people do so much cursed stuff just like on purpose, just for memes. You know what I mean? Like I've seen people do. Have you seen the Chris Vector mod? The really crazy one?
The anti-SBR
yeah,
one?
anti-SBR Chris Vector.
It's like 8 feet long or whatever.
Anti-SBR. Okay, let me see if I can find it. It's so fucking hilarious. It's like there should be no reason for this. All right, I found it. Like this is a freaking Chris Vector. Like look at this shit.
Stupid.
I've seen people make DMR P90s before. Like
yeah.
And the thing about airsoft is like, it's not generally every airsoft gun is. I don't know. Have you ever played airsoft? Actually,
no, I haven't actually. I mean, I've owned a few airsoft guns. I have one now, but I've never. There's no airsoft here, so like
that's true.
Everybody shoots real guns.
Yeah, but since airsoft is all kind of the same, it's 6mm BB gearbox. It's the same thing in every airsoft gun. You could make all of the configurations of airsoft guns quite easily, right? Like if you wanted to do like a DMR P90, you would just like put a tight bore, like a long tight bore on the inside of it, extend it out, and then you would just regulate it so that the actual pressure is like consistent. That's all you would need to do, right?
Yeah, that's interesting because it's like you couldn't really do that with a actual one.
Yeah.
Or it wouldn't make sense to.
Yeah, basically. Um, yeah, people make a lot of crazy stuff. Let's see. Freaking gun fist.
They're like the glove with the gun on it, and you punch somebody, and it like triggers
Oh, that was
the
in
trigger.
Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Like that was a real gun.
Like a
That was
spy
a
gun.
real like spy OSS gun. Yeah, the glove gun.
Well, you just like you pull it like with your hand and it
Yeah, so it's got a barrel with like a plunger thing that sticks out forward, and then you cock it, and then literally when you punch something, it like hits it presses
oh
the
the bear
trigger bar, like
oh
it depresses it in, and it fires it when it hits something.
so that was
Really
actually real.
bizarre.
The
Yep,
oh man,
it
that's
was. It was a
freaking wild.
real thing.
That's crazy. Um, okay. What is your opinion on the Ruger 57 versus the 5 FN 57 as a Steel
I've
Max?
shot. Yeah, I've shot both of them. I like the 5.7, the actual FN one better. I would argue that the Ruger has a better control. It's got the safety back there like a 1911
Mm-hmm.
versus this very awkward forward mounted safety. So it's got that going for it. But to me, the 5.7 feels like a little bit higher quality gun, which it should. It costs like $500 more than the Ruger. So you pay the FN tax to get one, but I do prefer the 5.7 over the Ruger. But the Ruger is still a great gun. Like if you don't want to spend the extra money, and really it's actually probably has better ergonomics. It's got a slightly thinner grip, better safety, still decent trigger.
Oh man, gosh, I just remembered something. Have you there's like this new sport that they started doing. Is on the topic of airsoft, but there's this new one that some places do where this sounds like such a fucking terrible idea. It's indoor airsoft sort of thing, but with real guns and rubber bullets. Just seems terrible. Like I don't know why you would do this. But
Oh my
there's
gosh,
yeah, there's a place in Las Vegas that has it. It's like
that
Las
sounds like
Vegas
pain.
indoor rubber bullet airsoft. It's like,
I hope they're pretty low velocity. I
oh
guess is
my
all I
god,
gotta
is this
say.
the
'Cause
one
fuck, that would hurt
the
so
most
much.
authentic, the most authentic shooting experience with a fun of a first person shooter? Bro, I would fucking hate this. Is this the one? I
Yeah,
think this is it. I think
that
this
hurts
I'm just
so
gonna show
bad.
you. Like I think this is it. Is this the one? This might not be the one. I would fucking hate that. Wouldn't you hate that? It would be fucking terrible. Like
Oh, they're like not wearing enough gear for this.
I know.
Like the people, like short sleeve shirts. I'd have like
Holy
freaking
fuck.
heavy jacket on and like
I
armor.
know.
Yeah, hell no.
That is some shit, man. All right. Yeah, fucking
Oh, that
wild.
was they were shooting at like a screen, not another. They're not like shooting at each other.
There
So
was one where you're
maybe.
shooting it because I remember like
Yeah.
actually physically going to the place, and I was like, bold
Hmm.
firepower, authentic shooting, use real firearms with modified ammo.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, see,
But yeah, I
compete
don't
in the
want to be shot with
gunfight
it.
in the maze or something. Real firearms with non-lethal ammo. Holy fuck.
Maybe they're like super slow,
Is
like
this wait,
Nerf gun speeds,
is it
something.
or maybe it's like next gen laser tag?
It
How
kind of
good
looked
is
like
this?
laser tag,
Is
like
it
the
like a
things they're
next
wearing.
gen
I'm
laser
like,
tag with like blanks basically?
maybe,
Like
maybe it could be.
that's fucking crazy. That's some shit, man. Anywho, okay. New question from Wedge: restored classic or new reproduction?
I don't like restoring classic guns unless it absolutely has to be done. I would usually prefer clean it up but leave it in its original condition. So what I'm meaning is like if you have an old surplus World War I era gun and it's kind of rough, like don't refinish it. Don't make it all polished, shiny blue. Put sand the stock. Leave it as its original
Mm-hmm.
configuration. I think that's preserving the history of the gun. If you want a shiny new one, then yes, buy a reproduction of that gun or one that maybe couldn't be saved or salvaged and it has been refurbished like that. But if you have an old gun, unless it absolutely has to be worked on, I would say try and leave it as is.
Okay, you got 3 more, and I paused all the redemptions. So,
Okay.
question from Leve: what is your opinion on barrel and similar AKs converted to NATO ammunition?
Oh, 5.56.
Mm.
I have no problem with 5.56 AKs. I think they actually make a lot of sense, especially being in the United States where we can't get 5.45 ammunition easily anymore. 7.62 by 39 is going to be available, but the price is going to go up. So 5.56 AK I think is a good option for people who want AKs, but you want it in a caliber that is available in the US.
Is that
I've
what
got
the Galil is? Is that what that is?
Yes,
I
I've
see.
got
All right.
2 Galils and a Polish Baril, which is also a 5.56 AK,
Ah.
and there are some others too.
Do you own any night vision enablers?
I do not have any night vision. I would love to. It's just the cost to entry to that is absurdly high. If you want binos, it's about 8 to 10 grand, plus
Fuck.
helmet, plus laser designators, plus all that. And yeah, it'd be cool to see in the dark, but it's a heck of a lot of money.
I would love to have night vision just to look at like animals in my backyard or something.
Yeah, that's why you're like people like they just like go like creeping around at night and like looking at stuff. It's like you see all the animals and other stuff out. You see some wild things I hear with night vision. So
Last question is from It's a Cave Hill, y'all. I think there's a little misunderstanding here because the question is just in all caps. Where in the goddamn did you find a Stoner 63?
yeah, it's not a stoner. It's not a Stoner 63. Again, for anyone, it's a Robinson Armament M96, which is a semi-auto copy / reimagining of the Stoner 63. So it looks like one, but it's not a real Stoner 63.
You
I
damn
would
near gave
love.
someone a heart
Yeah.
attack.
Well, again, we were talking about earlier, $120,000 gun. Yeah, if I
Holy
just
fuck.
flexed the Stoner 63 out here, I'd probably crap myself too.
What was the one that you had that was the most expensive again? Was
The SIG,
SIG, yeah.
PE90 or the SIG 550
I see.
twists.
How much is that?
They go for about 8,000 right now,
Fuck.
probably. Yeah, I paid $4 for it. But
Oh, you got like
market,
yeah.
I pre-ordered. I had to buy that gun a year in advance, and wait, and then it came in, and then they said there's only about 500 of them probably total in the U.S. So it's a pretty rare gun, and they're in fairly high demand, and there are not really any more coming in at the moment. So that's why the price is high. If they start coming in again, then the price will drop back down. But supply and demand.
There's a quick question in chat. It says, "What bullets do you use on the 5.7?" I assume the type. You said American Eagle, right?
I've got American Eagle and the SS. It's not the 190. What is it? It's the blue tip. The
FN one, like the official one.
Yeah.
Or? Yeah,
The
I have that one
VMAX
too.
stuff. Those are the two.
VMAX.
VMAX. Yes. Those are the two common ones that you get are the American Eagle and the FN blue tip VMAX.
You can get green tip, can't you? Isn't that allowed? Like for like a 5.56.
You can. So green tip 5.7 is a little different. It's loaded to the same pressures as that AP ammo I was talking about earlier, the SS190.
The black one?
Yeah. So it's green tip 5.7 is ballistically I think the same as the AP ammo, but it doesn't have the steel core penetrator in it. So it's actually restricted as well. You can find it more commonly than actual AP, but still expect to pay a fair amount of money for it. I think it's about $75 a box of 50. And the only real advantage you're getting is it's a little bit hotter than regular 5.7 ammo. It's like 100 feet per second faster out of the barrel.
Well, I mean, I appreciate you being on so much. Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun. Like really, the time just kind of like flew for me. I was like, "Holy, it's almost midnight!" Like, what the fuck?
We talked a lot about guns, and again, I feel like we didn't even cover all.
We didn't. Much. Yeah, we didn't even finish like everything that we were like kind of talking about before the stream. Like, oh, we should talk about that. We should talk about that. We didn't even get to that. So, I really appreciate like your time. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. I actually recorded both segments. Like, I'll probably put the other one up as like a bonus or something. That was great. Yeah.
Sure.
All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, it was super fun.
Again, you got your 1 year anniversary next month. next
Yeah,
month?
end of July, like 29th, 30th. There'll be big celebration stream.
Yeah,
So
if you
come
guys
check it
are
out.
interested in this stuff at all, if you're like, wow, I'm watching the Leaflet show right now and this is like really crazy, like all these guns stuff, that is GachaGuns show every day.
Literally every stream.
Every single stream. Yeah.
This is the stream.
You just go like deep dive on like a specific gun or like specific
Yeah,
set?
kind of depends. Sometimes I'll kind of curate like a topic. Other times it's kind of like just whatever, just what people feel like discussing. Or we'll talk again specific. Somebody's like, "Hey, how's the suppressor work?" Well, we'll go through and explain
That's really cool.
all the details and stuff, because a lot of that it's I would say it's like the knowledge is out there, but like understanding it all easily and like hopefully I explain it well and concisely that people can follow.
Yes, if like you're kind of interested about guns, you play a lot of games, you're interested in guns. You also have a lot of the guns that are in games, like a lot of the popular ones, really. So if you're interested in that, check out at GachaGuns on Twitter and twitch.tv/GachaGuns. You stream like 2 days a week. You post a schedule anywhere, or you just
Yeah, it's Tuesdays and Fridays, 6:30 PST and 9:30 EST.
Damn, you're like on the dot. You're like, it's gonna be that time all the time.
It is. It pretty much is. I'm pretty consistent. Sometimes I'm a little bit late because it happens, but that's pretty much always the stream usually.
Yeah, so go ahead and give make sure you give GachaGuns a follow. Get some of that cool gun content and learn about. You can ask questions, which is neat. You answer a lot of questions. All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Thanks so much. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone. Late Night Leaflet is hosted by Leaflit, produced by Asari Mitsuha, and directed by El Viejo Byte. You can catch our streams at twitch.tv/Leaflit, and you can join our community at discord.gg/Leaflit. Late Night Leaflit is an Angel Sword Studios production. Copyright Angel Sword Studios 2022. Hope to see you soon.